The suggestion, certainly by the opposition, but also I think by Jamaicans who are not politically aligned, certainly by party affiliation, but just want to see a clean, transparent operation. Some think that he was put there based on his comments before to manipulate the investigation into the Prime Minister's affairs. And you're going to have a struggle to convince them otherwise. And then there's others who think that it is just the opposition making noise because, it's not one of their own or whatever. But the question I put to you is he damned if he does carry on the investigation and find something, or is he damned if he doesn't?
Right. Okay. Well, first of all, let me go back to what he said when he said it.
Yes.
Okay. In particular about the accounts. And by the way, I disagree with him. Mm-hmm. Right. And I have had myself considerable experience in business.
Yes.
Right. I have undergone anti-money laundering trading. I have as part of the Bank of Jamaica and the FSC experience, and as part of the financial sector that I sit in now, the proliferation of accounts is one of the flags that people look for money laundering. So I do disagree with Dennis for having said that 28 accounts is nothing unusual for a businessman. And then he also put that in the context of we have gone so far from the standard that when a politician is not supposed to be a businessman who is doing politics on the side or a politician who is doing business on the side. He's supposed to be a politician as a vocation. You swear to it when you stand up and take the oath. So all of these things have to be taken in a context. Now, having said that, I disagree with Dennis. I give him his right of free speech in a democratic country when he said it. Mm-hmm. Because when he said it, he was not entangled with this particular encumbrance which he has taken and placed on his shoulders. Okay? And that now puts on him a tremendous burden, a burden which, knowing the man, I know him never intended, because what Dennis does not want to do is to divide this. Everything in his life has shown that what he wants to do is to have a society that is stable and balanced, and to take steps to prepare for accountability and transparency. Okay, and in fact, what has happened now, no doubt, not because of him, but accidentally, he has managed to thrust himself into a controversy that could affect three institutions: the Service Commission, the FID, and the Ministry of Finance, and could affect them drastically, because we have a society now where half want to believe this and half don't want to believe that. And Dennis must be agonizing over the unfortunate circumstances that he alone has created.
Mm.
He has a responsibility, by the way, which I'll come.
Come again?
He has a responsibility, which I will come to when you...
Well, let me just ask you this, because, again, when you mentioned the Services Commission, should they have issued a statement already in relation to his employment, rather than suggesting that it should go through a access to information request?
Well, that's a judgment call. Based on my experience on my particular philosophy of life, if you ask me a question and it's not covered under the Official Secrets Act, I am doing the business of the people, and I have a responsibility to answer that question. I may answer it in a measure, in a way, and without giving you every private bit that involves people, but I think we should answer it. This is my personal view. Mm-hmm. When you say apply under the Access to Information Act, you are saying, I'm going to put you through the bureaucracy. Okay? Now, fine. What is necessary, though, is that they respond with alacrity to that to those applications under the Access to Information Act. Because you must rush truth, Truth must not be rushed. Fact, and there's no need to rush this truth. I know that the opposition may want to have a bomb to explode before the election, but that's not my concern. The fact is that in order for the society to remain calm and stable, the truth must be put out there.
Yeah, but surely it should be allied to transparency. And it would seem to me that a lot of our organizations tend to shy away from a transparent, clear operation. You're not doing anything wrong. Is this the way you did it?
That's why I say in my personal opinion. Yeah. Given that we operate in a society which is so torn by distrust and cynicism and a lack of credibility, I really think that we should rush to state the facts. If the facts are not, if you don't rush to face the facts, you have the society that we live in is going to say hiding something.
Yes, it leads to speculation. You were saying you were going to add something about Dennis's decision.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I'm not one of those jumping up and down calling for Mr. Chunk's resignation, okay? Because without more, I think that I have to balance it against his right to express his opinion at the time. And if he came now having taken up the job and expressed that opinion, I would put him in a particular. It would be a different context. Yes. But I'm saying at the time it was different. What he has a responsibility to do now is one of three things: resign. Okay. If he cannot show that he is acting and will act with impartiality, then he needs to resign. Two, if he feels that he can show that that he's going to act with impartiality and complete objectivity, right? Then he has one of two things to do: issue a commitment to the public of Jamaica that everything he does in this job is going to be dedicated to the interest of Jamaica, and that he will keep the public informed to the extent that it is possible to do so, given the fact that he's investigating something, and investigations by nature have to be done quietly and in privacy and all that, but that don't mean that the results of the investigation must be deferred or hidden. Okay, so he has to I think he has a responsibility to either do that, make that statement, right, or at least commit to moving the instant matter that is causing all the distress as quickly as possible to a resolution. And when that resolution has arrived at, to open it to the scrutiny by the society. Because it cannot be, and it is going to do serious damage to Jamaica and further damage to the cynicism that we have in this society. It cannot be that he's going to go in there, do the job, and we're not going to know what the result is.
Howard Mitchell, hold the line for me. Let me take a break. When I come back, I want to ask you, has the Dennis Chung?
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. First Saturday in the month of June. Make it the 7th day of June. Welcome to Portland Spice TV as we come to you live from the capital city of Port Antonio, from the studios of Portland Spice TV. Good morning to all the early birds in the chat room. Carlton, Elaine, Auntie Elaine, good morning to you. Dennis, yeah man, big up on yourself. Everybody man, Wayne, Ivan, Marlene, Gary, Gilly. Share up the live. Share up the live. This morning, we want to talk more about governance because Jamaica is in a governance crisis. We are going to be talking to Senior Attorney at Law this morning, Bert Samuels. We want to talk about governance, the Constitution. How do you hold people accountable? And how our government operate with transparency. Those are some of the things that we want to look at this morning. We also want to hear from you. We invite you to become a Portland Spice ambassador. And by becoming a Portland Spice ambassador, that means you send the link to this channel to everybody in your contact. Ask them to subscribe and to share this channel. Click up the notification as we speak truth and only the truth right here. Now, before we get to Bert Samuels, because we're going to talk to him somewhere about 9:20, there are a few things that I want to clear up this morning. You see, the internet is a good thing, but every good thing can also be a bad thing. And the internet gives opportunity for anybody who so desire to create a platform to disseminate information. The sad part about it is that some people sometimes talk about things that they do not understand. And Fitzroy, them come on the internet and go on like they are an authority on things that they know not about. So I heard a man giving some information. And I said to myself, Lord have mercy. God help those who listen to him. But then I heard a radio host calling him an idiot. And I was wondering why. But then I saw some of the idiocracy that he put out. Now, let's look at the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission, the IC in Jamaica, is a creature of the parliament. And if you realize, the Integrity Commission is always chaired by a senior judge. A senior judge. And the last chairman before this present one was Justice Seymour Panton. And it stands for good reason why the Integrity Commission is chaired by senior judge. And there are other judges on the board of directors. Reason for that is the understanding of evidence presented. And when these evidence are presented to these senior judge, they would have had years of experience of interpreting the law and looking at evidence. Sorry. So when the Integrity Commission put out a report on the Prime Minister, it must not be taken lightly. Whether you're a PNP or a GLP, the Integrity Commission operations must not be taken lightly. Last week, Saturday morning, we had Daniel Archer. And Daniel is also an attorney at law and head of National Integrity Action. And she gave us some history on the Integrity Commission. So, this commission was set up for many different reasons. One of them is to ensure that our politicians operate in a transparent and accountable manner. So the law says all parliamentarians must do statutory filing. Quiet boy, Shaka. Me never call nobody name. Because some people, let me tell you something. You see, this program is a serious program we run. And we search for the truth. Even if the truth is not on my side. I want truth. And I pray and ask God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And ask him for me to be objective because I want to be God loudspeaker. I want him to speak through me. So we can't hide the truth. So the Integrity Commission is the body that politicians file to. The Integrity Commission is not a rubber stamp. It's not a rubber stamp. So, on anything you send to the Integrity Commission, they are going to sign off on it. And we have seen in recent times where the Integrity Commission, even I think some of the people from NEPA, took the Integrity Commission to court on the issue of the head of the Water Commission and those buildings. And the court ruled in favor of the Integrity Commission. I'm still trying to find a case that they have lost. So if anybody would remember of any case that the Integrity Commission lost, remind me. So I dare say that their reputation and their track record is impeccable. So when the Integrity Commission refuses to certify the Prime Minister, it is not a joke matter. It is not a simple matter. Say what you want about Kevin Stevens. He has done investigations on quite a few politicians, and they have all had to pay. Every one of them had to pay. So, therefore, when you look at the track record, then you must ask, what is happening with the Prime Minister? And it leads now to governance issue. Also, I hear the youth talk about evidence. Evidence is supposed to be true. Not always true, but it is supposed to be. But I want to play for you what Justice Seymour Panton said to the Parliament after the report was tabled and they were being questioned by parliamentarians.
So I trust that folks will realize that the reports that we send from the Integrity Commission, they are reports of facts. There are factual statements in the reports. Of course, there are recommendations attached to the reports, which the law allows. The law says that the Director of Investigation...
Say it again.
So I trust that folks will realize that the reports that we send from the Integrity Commission, they are reports of facts. There are factual statements in the reports. Of course, there are recommendations attached to the reports, which the law allows. The law says that the Director of Investigation may make recommendations. The recommendations that are made,
So, you hear what the chairman said. He said that the reports are reports of facts. Now, I hear the man also talk about the 28 accounts and say that it's not necessarily true. The Prime Minister never said him to have 28 accounts. Also, what I want to clear up, there were two reports. One with two accounts. One with two reports, with two accounts, that said the mother of the Prime Minister had his name on them. Those were the report that Ms. Kamika said that there is nothing there. The other report was not sent to the Director of Corruption Prosecution. So, I beg you, don't mislead the people and will listen to you. God allow some people to listen to us. And we should not mislead the people who follow us on these platforms. You're doing a disservice. So there's two separate reports. One about two accounts, and then there's a different one with 28 accounts. I also hear people say that the Integrity Commission never find nothing on the Prime Minister. That is not true. There are many findings. And you just heard the chairman, the former chairman, said there are reports of facts. Fact that Barita loaned the Prime Minister $50 million and the collaterals were not in the name of the company at the time. Facts about money being lodged to the Prime Minister's account and nobody know who was lodging these monies. Facts about monies moving from a charitable organization and used to buy stocks and bonds. Facts about nil tax returns were filed. Facts about over $400 million going through accounts. And I played the clip with Howard Mitchell earlier. Howard Mitchell said one of the first red flag in financial investigation or financial crimes is multiple accounts. Now, if you feel comfortable having a prime minister that is under investigation for illicit actions, I'm going to look up the word if you don't know what the word means. And I asked the question the other day. If you have your business and you are employing and you go into an area and you get a resume and during your background check, everybody tell you that this person is under investigation for theft, for illicit actions, would you still employ that person? Knowing the person is under investigation. Yes, the person is not charged, but the person is under investigation. Would you employ that person or would you want to wait until there's a final decision by the police? Tell me. Now, again about the lady who refused to shake Andrew Wilness' hand. Let me tell you something. That lady employs Andrew Wilness. Andrew Wilness worked for that lady. No, she bowed. She gave him a bow. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Touch not the Lord anointed. So I see a lot of people out there cussing the lady too. But guess what? That lady have a right to decide whose hand she shake or who hand she not shake. Is the prime minister would be rude if she put out her hand for shake him and him not shake him hand? She's the employer of the prime minister. Let me listen back a little more to Howard Mitchell. And let me get Bert Samuels on the line here. What is happening here? Why are you not getting anything from this? Hey.
He put there, based on his comments before, to manipulate the investigation into the Prime Minister's affairs. And you're going to have a struggle to convince them otherwise. And then there's others who think that it is just the opposition making noise because, it's not one of their own or whatever. But the question I put to you is he damned if he does carry on the investigation and find something, or is he damned if he doesn't?
Right. Okay. Well, first of all, let me go back to what he said when he said it.
Yes.
Okay. In particular about the accounts. And by the way, I disagree with him. Right. And I have had myself considerable experience in business.
Yes.
Right. I have undergone anti-money laundering trading. I have as part of the Bank of Jamaica and the FSC experience, and as part of the financial sector that I sit in now, the proliferation of accounts is one of the flags that people look for money laundering. So I do disagree with Dennis for having said that 28 accounts is nothing unusual for a businessman. And then you also put that in the context of we have gone so far from the standard that when a politician is not supposed to be a businessman.
All right, so we heard that before, so I'm going to stop that. And welcome to Portland Spice TV, Senior Attorney at Law, Bert Samuels. Mr. Samuels, morning.
Good morning. You're on our television?
Yeah, man, we have television and we have radio.
Okay, good, man.
Yes.
Congrats. How long now you're television?
We have always been television as well, though. Always.
Okay, good, man.
Yes, man.
Good.
Welcome to the show, Bert.
Yeah,
As I said, I want to talk to you this morning about governance and something about the Constitution and our country is supposed to be run. Bert, what is referred to as a banana republic? When people say you're running the country like a banana republic, what do they mean?
What it means that there is no democracy. It's not. The banana republic are usually run by dictators who are not accountable to the people. It's a derogatory term used for black countries, so I have to be careful how I accept it.
Right. Oh, it's just for black countries? I think it's just for countries when I run good.
Yeah, but this banana is grown in our area. There are two meanings. There's a connotation of racism in it.
All right.
But general principle is that it's a state that does not. It's a failed state.
All right. So we said governance. Explain to us, Bert Samuels, why is it necessary for parliamentarians to submit filings to the Integrity Commission and for the Integrity Commission to certify and for the Prime Minister and the leader of opposition for a summary to be made public? Why are these important?
All right. It's important because not parliamentarians are like public servants. So it's not just parliamentarians. They are servants of the people. And they should show, because they're in such great powers of influence, they're in positions of influence. That influence can cause them to get wealth which is not accounted for. So you give them a contract for $2 billion and you get some money from him. You take it and you go and you lodge it down in a small island or something. And eventually the Integrity Commission says, show me your books. Show me your earnings. Show me the earnings of your spouse. Not just that. You have to show the earnings of your spouse.
Yes.
It's a method of controlling that, and in Jamaican talk, it is that you're not taking a bribe.
Yes.
Plain talk.
So you're not taking no kickback.
Yeah. Because you are in a position where you can get kickback.
Exactly. So you give a man a contract, him give you back a 500 million, or him give you back $1 billion outright.
Yeah. So it can't go in, and it has to, if you are to accept it, it's going to go in your account, or going to go in a company in which you have shares. So you tell it, but you see, they can get, people who take bribes can get around it, you know. You can say, give the money to John, who is your schoolmate.
Mm-hmm.
So them still can circumvent it, you know. Public servants can circumvent it. But, you know, that is it.
So like when a man lodge money to my account and you can't know who lodged the money, that's a red flag.
More than a red flag. But even if you're not a public servant, the bank has to ask you, Shaka, you lodged $2 million US. What's the source of that fund? So even outside the Integrity Commission, the banks are required to KYC, know your client.
Yes.
So,
now, in a country where you have parliamentarians who are not certified by the Integrity Commission, does that cause any problem, Bert?
I don't understand certified, that they are not compliant.
So the Integrity Commission, you file to the Integrity Commission, and the Integrity Commission say we cannot certify this filing based on other issues.
That is trouble, because you how do you go out to the people and how do you represent me when your earnings are not certified by a commission that is set out to be done? I wouldn't want you to represent me because you're not circumspect. You're not circumspect. The parliament is not a private institution, you know, because I'm a lawyer. Mm-hmm. Nobody can come to me and ask me where I get my money from, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, if I'm going to bank it, but I'm not a public servant. But once I say I want to be a member of parliament, I take an oath to follow the Constitution of Jamaica, which assumes that I will abide by the rules.
Mm-hmm. And you swore and you took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Yeah, that's what every parliamentarian does that. On a Bible. They use a Bible too. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Now, for good governance, Bert, if you are asked as a parliamentarian to submit your personal expense to the Integrity Commission and you refuse, what does that say?
That's more than a red flag. That is a burning flag. It means that you have something to hide, so you can't represent people when you're refusing to show that. You remember, the parliamentarians say, I am honest, and
Yes.
I expect my constituents to be honest people. So you're not leading by example. It's like a father who is a thief, and his children find out, say, Daddy not honest.
Why is parliamentarian referred to as honorable? What does that mean?
Oh yes, it means just what it says. It means that you have a status, that your reputation cannot be held in question. You're supposed to be honorable.
Above
Judges are
reproach.
called honorable. Honorable is a title for judges, and honorable means that you carry honor with you. It means that you're circumspect, not that you're perfect, but you will comply with the rules. So when you look at me and say, Bert Sam is not an honorable man, it means that I'm a scammer. I can't be trusted.
The Integrity Commission, Bert, we realized that the former chairman was Justice Seymour Panton. And we now have another senior judge. And I'm not remembering her name right now.
Beswick. Mrs. Beswick.
Justice Beswick. Why is it that they use senior judges to head an organization like this? Is there a reason for it?
It's good. I mean, retired judges in Jamaica are expected to be able, because when they were judges, they are supposed to dispense justice equally and fairly, irrespective of who comes before them. So a judge is really supposed to be blind. Judges are supposed to know which party, and if he knows the party, you're supposed to recuse yourself. If it's your cousin, your schoolmate come before you, you have to ask another judge to try the matter. So judges are used for things like the Integrity Commission because they have a long history of impartiality.
So we saw the judge that was supposed to try Ruel Reid. One of the judges at least said that they're not going to try the case because Ruel Reid was his head boy.
Yes, that's true. And that is what you recuse yourself. And if it is found out afterwards, then it can be a ground of appeal either by the prosecution that the judge failed to declare the connection between himself and a litigant.
Yeah. So therefore, the judge recuse themselves, and at the Integrity Commission, it is supposed to be that they also understand and able to interpret the law.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about judges. In the Integrity Commission, they're going to be called upon to interpret the law, interpret the rules. So it's a very good idea to put a lawyer, because judges are lawyers, in that position.
Yeah. So I said this morning that the Integrity Commission, as far as I am aware, have an impeccable record, because I can't remember them carrying nobody to court and lose, Bert. I don't know if you know of any.
Why they carry my client and I never win one yet, because usually it's a failure to. The most common one is failure to declare.
Right.
Failing to declare or insufficient declaration.
And they have
Why did you have a Benz,
yes,
and you don't declare it? How come? You forget Benz?
And is it safe to say that they are thorough based on what we have seen from them thus far?
Yes, because you see, when it comes down to the bottom, they go into your account. They look at what you have. All your bank accounts have to be declared to them, and they are allowed to go into the banking system.
Yes.
That's the thing that your listeners should know. They have access to all the banking institutions in Jamaica. They have access to the insurance companies.
Yes.
They can go to the insurance company and say, tell me all the cars that Shaka is insured with you.
Yes.
And they can go and find. So if you're hiding anything, they can uncover it pretty easily.
So when they say the Prime Minister have 28 bank accounts, it's because they know it for a fact.
Oh, well, they would have seen his name on it. Yeah. Unless But sometimes, you make mistakes because you can have two shaka.
Yes.
So,
All right.
so when they say you have 28, you have a responsibility to say, no, I have 21. Those 7 are not mine. Because they give you an opportunity, to rebut
definitely
what they're saying.
Yes, they do give you that opportunity. A listener is saying to ask you about the issue with I don't remember the guy name who is supposed to be acting director of corruption prosecution, and they said he's friends with Dayton Campbell. Dayton Campbell went to his wedding and was a part of his bridal party. Does that stop him from being the director of corruption prosecution?
No, let me tell you why it couldn't. If Dayton comes before him, he may have to recuse himself, that individual.
Yes.
And you remember that the Integrity Commission, Ms. Beswick, I think, explained that Jamaica is a small country and people are going to know people. So the fact that you participate in a person's wedding does not mean that she should exclude that person from it. So if you Google her response to it, that is what you call a level-headed person saying Jamaica is small. There's somebody is always close. But Shaka, you have only a JLP friend.
Of course.
Oh.
Of Wally. No. People are matching that, Bert, with Dennis Chung as the head of the FID. And the fact that Dennis Chung made some statements as it relates to the Integrity Commission report on the Prime Minister. What is the difference with that, if there is any?
All right. So let me tell you, this is kind of came into politics now. Let me just see if I can say it here.
No, let's do it as governance, not politics.
If an individual is under investigation by an organization and you have made statements which could be said to be taking up, let me use Jamaica, like you take up for the person.
Yeah.
Then it looks a little unwise, it is unwise for you to take up the reins of that institution when you had taken a position on an issue which is being decided. Remember, the issue is not yet closed,
Right.
So if the matter is, put it this way, in court language, the matter is part heard, right?
Yes.
And you coming to sit in the seat now. I would refuse that job. I wouldn't want to come under a cloud of being that I might have to recuse myself. But there's another element of criticism about it. You don't want to go to the next point.
Talk to me.
Well, what they said, this is what I'm hearing, I stand corrected, that part of the requirements for the job require that you're supposed to have X amount of years as a, investigator?
No, 12 years in law enforcement and 5 years as at a senior position in law enforcement.
All right, fine.
And that was removed.
Those are the requirements. So what John Public is saying, if that was removed, if you remove that, you might be cutting the jacket to fit another person.
Talk to me.
Alter, you alter a jacket so it can fit another man.
Yes.
That's what is being said. And I think that for transparency, if that is true, because I know, I don't want nobody to sue me, if that is true, that the requirements were altered.
Well, what we can tell you, Bert, in November when the job was first advertised, the requirements of 12 years in law enforcement and 5 years in a senior position was in the advertisement. In January,
that's 6 months ago.
Right. So in January now, that was changed to say 12 years in a senior managerial position.
So yes, the public cannot be said to be wrong. It says this jacket is now tailored to fit another person, and that's you see, because the Integrity Commission is the process should have integrity. The process to select the head of the Integrity Commission should have integrity.
Or the head of the FID.
Head of the FID.
Yes.
Head of the FID. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, man. No problem.
It is a senior investigating body,
Yes.
It is supposed to. It's supposed to have on a blindfold, Don't care who coming before it.
Exactly. You and I had spoken already about a law that lawyers must also report certain financial transaction, and I think the lawyers took that to the Privy Council.
I will lost.
And you lost because the Integrity Commission and FATF wanted this. And I think that was about 2023?
Yeah, that is true. We lost that one. And what it really means is that one of the canons, one of the principles of lawyer-client relationship is confidentiality. That means Shaka is supposed to come and tell me, listen, I did so-and-so, and I'm telling you, I'm confessing to you, and I cannot tell anyone that it was so. And that confidentiality for lawyers is absolute. It's not absolute for doctors. It's not absolute for any other profession, but it's absolute for us. In other words, nobody can ask us. Now, what that kid said, that if Shaka comes to me and carries $3 million to give me to buy somewhere, I am supposed to report him as him walk through the door.
Mm-hmm.
As him leave my office, I must report my own client.
And you didn't want, the lawyers didn't want to do that?
No, but then Shaka hear that I'm an informer. What am I like? You don't have to answer that. What is likely to happen?
Yeah. And then you might not get no more work either.
That is it, because they post from me.
But the lawyers lost that case and said that you must report.
Now we have to report. Now we have to report our clients for suspicious transactions. Once it looks suspicious, and cash transactions are by themselves suspicious.
I ask you that question, Bert, because in the same time that law was passed, there was one dealing with the Companies Act that you must declare who own the shares and assets.
Oh, yes, that's a new requirement. No, you have to declare and give data and information as to who. In other words, your ID, photographs, all those things are now new regime.
And that's since 2023.
That's true.
And therefore, if we have people who have shares in trusts for other people, does that mean that they must declare to the company's office that these shares are not mine and it should be on the document?
Yeah, it should be, because that is another way of concealing wealth, you know. So you get practice to face your financial affairs, and that they are trying to, every little loophole, they're trying to cover it.
And that ties in with the FID and the FATF jurisdiction and laws. So if we have parliamentarians that are not declaring their shares or who they are holding shares for in a company, is that illegal?
Well, I don't use the word illegal, but you must admit that you are doing that, If I form a company now and to avoid anything, I put it in the name of my 18-year-old son who don't have a job. What that means? We get money from to get shares.
Mm-hmm. All right. Somebody
they must. Your wife have to make declarations.
Once you live together. Somebody's saying that I should ask you, and let me just check out the time here. Somebody's saying that I should ask Bert about the IC not publishing the overseas financial audit report. How that work, Bert? Do you think they should have published that?
No, I don't know. I don't know enough about that.
You don't know enough about that. All right. So let's go back a little bit to the Integrity Commission. What weight does the Integrity Commission carry, Bert? If they don't certify a politician, it just don't mean nothing? What weight it carry?
Remember, criminal proceedings are taken against people who breach the rules, You have to face the court. It goes to the DPP. What's the name of that body again?
The Director of Corruption Prosecution?
Yeah, that is where you're heading. I have represented, and the funny thing is I represented about 2 high-ranking police officers because their declarations were not full and fulsome, and senior civil servants.
Yeah.
Senior civil servants for just failing to file a complete report is an offense.
isn't it an offense when the Integrity Commission asks you for certain document and you don't deliver it?
You try to give information. It's an offense. And therefore the DPP usually rule on it. Some people forget to file their things and they come before the court and the judge goes easy on them. But when you make a specific request and you refuse to give it,
yeah,
that's trouble, bro.
But I don't want to bring it into the politics, Bert. But the Integrity Commission said that they asked the Prime Minister for his personal expense. And, well, the Prime Minister said his lawyer told him not to hand it over.
Well, the matter is before the court, so we don't want to comment on it.
All right, so don't comment on that. But tell us finally. No, I have one more question to ask you about the Constitution before I let you go. But I want to understand the Prime Minister has taken the Integrity Commission to court. How does that look on the face of it? Not getting into the detail, but the fact that the Prime Minister has taken the Integrity Commission to court.
No, well, in my law, my thing, the rule of law says every person can access the court.
Yes.
As a lawyer, and I'm only going to give it the lawyer answer, he has the right
yes
to anything in the court.
Yes.
It may have political repercussion, but I don't want to comment on that.
On the right. But legally, he has every right to take this to court to satisfy himself.
And I support any Jamaican, including the Prime Minister, who wants to take a matter to court.
Right.
If I were his political advisor now, I may have a different view, but
don't give us that view. Let me ask you this about the Constitution now, Bert. When you have an administration who have lost 7 constitutional cases, a government that swore, and PJ Patterson changed the oath of office to the Jamaican people and to uphold and defend the Constitution, and you have lost 7 constitutional cases, what does that say about the administration?
Well, tell me now. Don't use the word administration. You give me 7 cases, I'm going to lose the 7 of them. No, I don't say you don't give me 10 and I lose 7. You give me 7 and I lose 7. Maybe.
Bert Samuels, thank you very much for coming on this morning, my brother.
Love.
Blessings, man. One love. Senior attorney at law, Bert Samuels. And it leaves us with a question. Why didn't the Integrity Commission charge Prime Minister Andrew Holness for not submitting his personal expenses? They asked him to submit his personal expense, and he did not. Why didn't they charge him for that? It is a serious situation that our island is in. If you line up Donald Trump and Andrew Holness side by side, you can't tell who is who. Shower, man, welcome.
Shower.
Power.
Shower.
Power.
You know why you're not afraid of Dennis Trump?
Yeah.
Because when gone, you know, he might go dig up all of the money where the corporation are keep, and that you're not afraid of, you know.
But who?
The corporation are keep.
Hey, let me tell you something, Shower, man. Anybody who is stealing from the country's coffer must face the judgment, whether they are PNP or GLP. Once you are thief. Eh?
You never can look that way there.
No, man, that me I tell you so. If the PNP at the corporation now are stealing, they must face the consequences.
You see Lawrence Rowe over him phone and everything.
When I listen to Lawrence Rowe, man, Lawrence Rowe.
Why?
Lawrence. May I have this discussion? Hold on. No, but may I have this discussion Wednesday, no? And we talk about.
We never talk about the Lawrence Rowe thing.
No, but you bring up Lawrence Rowe again.
Yeah, because he underwent phone and everything to the Mocha.
Yes.
So that's why the opposition know afraid pandemic strong when him there no things are going to know.
Let me tell you the opposition concern about Dennis Strong.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the opposition don't have no case before the FID. You know who have a case before the FID? The Prime Minister of Jamaica. The Prime Minister of Jamaica is the one who has been referred for investigation by the FID.
Fraud about bring down on the Prime Minister.
No, but hold on now. That's why people are saying that the Prime Minister is putting Dennis Chung there to secure female back.
Oh, sir. Not like that.
But look here, shower man.
Yeah.
Turn off the radio in the background, man. Listen, shower man.
Let me turn it on.
Yeah, man. Turn on your TV. Because we have to remember this.
Yeah, go on now.
It is the Prime Minister. Statutory filing has not been certified since 2021.
But in the integrity.
But the Integrity Commission asked him for his personal expense, which he has not given the Integrity Commission.
So if the Prime Minister said he lied, I said, why do you not go to the liar seat then?
No, but because the lawyer said nothing hand over.
But me just hear your question, Bert, and that's saying, bring him in some mix up, you know.
No, Bert, no want to talk no politics. Bert want to deal with law, straight law. So when me call Bert Samuels, me have to coin my questions to get the legal opinion.
Don't bring him in a lawsuit.
Exactly. So what I'm saying to you, the Integrity Commission, and this is why I'm asking why the Integrity Commission didn't charge the Prime Minister for not handing over his personal expenses. Because they asked him for it, and he has not handed that over. But the Integrity Commission has sent the report to the FID and said to the FID, investigate Prime Minister Andrew Holness on these findings that we have made.
Oh, Shaka, this dark court, so we have to leave it to the court. And we'll come after it. Look at
no, you see, that's what the Prime Minister want. The Prime Minister want to shut down the argument. That's why I'm taking it to court. But we're not getting into the integral part of it. We can talk about the outside part of it. Why is the Prime Minister not coming to the people of Jamaica and say to the people, here are my filings. I am ready to answer question. How the Prime Minister going to go in at the pool, shower man, with this hanging over his head? I asked you the other day, you know, would you employ somebody who is under investigation for stealing? Would you employ that person?
No.
Well, the Prime Minister is under investigation for illicit actions. Eh?
If not under stealing a rumor, they must get
no, man. It's not rumor. It's not rumor.
Shaka, me can answer one question?
Yes, sir, please.
They spend a bag of money with foreign investigation.
Yes.
Ask, but why do you not release it?
Well, that is in the document that is at the FID. So the FID will see that. All right? Little more show, man. I take our next call. 876-804-7072. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Morning, Shaka.
Welcome.
Marlon Morgan here, my brother.
Blessings and welcome, man.
Obligation where the Integrity Commission declaration is concerned pertains to income,
yes,
liabilities,
yes,
and assets,
yes,
not expenditure. So the Integrity Commission could not have moved to proffer charges against the Prime Minister or cite the Prime Minister for a breach in relation to declaration where his expenditures are concerned.
But they did ask for it, right?
Let me finish. Declarants have no such obligation, and you are correct. The Director of Investigation asked for that, knowing full well that he was asking for something that the declarant may not even have been in a position to furnish him with, because none of us, in a painstaking way, keep a journal of our expenditure.
Fair enough. Of our personal expenditure.
You see the point I'm making?
Yeah, and I agree with that.
My brother, I understand our respective interests. Our views diverge on many matters, but all I'm calling in to do, I'm getting dressed to go to a funeral service right now, but all I'm calling in to do is to ensure that at least we operate at a certain level where we don't make up things. The Integrity Commission could not have charged the Prime Minister, my brother. So I wouldn't want you to mislead.
Hold on, and you realize, Marlon, I asked the question, why didn't they charge him? Because I am wondering.
They have no such power to do that. Just like how the Public Service Commission, well, rather the government has no power to rescind the appointment of Dennis Trump.
Can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question before you go. Could the Services Commission put in a commissioner of police that the Prime Minister is not in agreement with?
Absolutely. Because remember now, it's, first of all, Shaka, it is not for the Prime Minister to be in agreement with a police commissioner. It is not for a Prime Minister to like or go to school with or
we're not going that far. We're not going that far.
Very well.
But
so
you are
to be clear, my brother,
saying
we
that...
are a nation of laws and institutions, right? Not of men.
All right, and the
We're
law...
a nation of institutions and laws, not of
I like
men.
that statement, and I'm going to break away because the laws of Jamaica says that the Prime Minister must submit their statutory filing to the Integrity Commission, and upon certification, a summary must be made public to the people of Jamaica.
And for reasons well known to you, we're not at that point because Kevin Stevens did something very curious. He opted not to pass a matter on to the then Director of Corruption Prosecution, and he did not pass the matter back to Craig Beresford for the Prime Minister to be certified. And he did that for reasons best known to him. From persons like myself, I suspect why he did that.
Why you think he did that?
It suits some people, yes, to have the Prime Minister hanging in abeyance and languishing vis-a-vis his certification so that people like Colin Bell and people like Peter Bunting can go about the place and talk about the Prime Minister not being certified.
But isn't that true? Isn't that true?
My brother, is it true that Mark Golding was seen pictured, or there's a picture going around on social media with Kevin Stevenson sharing a beer with Mark Golding? Is that true?
I have never seen it.
Have you seen such a picture?
No, I've never seen it.
Well, I'm going to have to WhatsApp it to you. Anyway, my G, I'm off to Southern Manchester at a funeral.
All right,
Take it easy, my brother.
Blessings.
Respect.
Thanks for the call. 804-7072. So, Marlon Morgan is saying that the Integrity Commission, it is not within their remit to ask for people's personal expense. Now, I don't know if that's a fact. I will do further investigation to find out if that is a fact. Because, and that was the reason why I was saying, then the Integrity Commission charge other people for not putting things in their filing. So if they asked the Prime Minister for his personal expense and they didn't charge him, why is the reason for that? So I hear Marlon Morgan's side. I'm not taking nothing that Marlon says as gospel. So I will do further investigation. And I am curious about it. Hence I asked the question earlier. But we must understand that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Marlon, have not been able to live within the remits of the law set out by the Parliament of Jamaica. If for 3 years going forward, the Prime Minister's statutory filing cannot be certified. And remember, for all we know, every other parliamentarian's statutory filing have been certified. We hear about 8 people under investigation for illicit enrichment. That's separate and apart. So for people to start pointing fingers at Kevin Stevenson, to say Kevin Stevenson has a thing for the Prime Minister, I find it very unfair. Prime Minister alone, Prime Minister and Kevin Stevenson used to go to school. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah?
This is?
Colin Bell, yeah?
Yeah, man, you're live on the show. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. Oh, it's good afternoon in the UK. I just have a question. And I don't know if I haven't really seen anyone on social media mention this. This is about the position at FID. Yeah. So, in terms of they've actually changed the job description. Yeah. So
yes.
I understand the position was advertised in November 2024.
Yes.
And they probably didn't find any suitable candidates to fill that role. Mm-hmm. And they revised the job description. Obviously, we know which section they amended.
Well, hold on.
Yeah?
We don't know if they didn't find anybody to fill the role. We don't know that.
Well, that is true. Well, I'm making the assumption because why re-advertise the position?
And that's a question that has been
went out.
That's a question that has been asked, and the Services Commission told the people who have asked the question to file through the Access to Information
ATI.
Act.
Okay, right. Okay. Let's move on then. Right, but the point I wanted to get across this morning to yourself and all your viewers was that when you have a vacancy, such a senior vacancy, yeah, okay, if you do not find a suitable candidate, yeah, you can reach out to professional headhunters,
yes,
that can actually look for someone to fill a position, yeah.
Yes.
You may have to pay a fee for that,
Yes.
yeah, okay, but that is an option that I'm sure is available in Jamaica.
Oh, yes, it is.
So why did they not do this? Yeah, you've got professional headhunters out there that would have found a suitable candidate.
Peter Bunting spoke of that.
I know, he mentioned it.
We had Peter Bunting, I think, sometime last week, and he spoke about if you don't find a suitable candidate, you employ headhunters to go and search. Also, you could second people from other agencies or other places to take up the job. But Raymond Price said to us this week Tuesday, that the job found Dennis Chung. Dennis Chung did not find a job. So
I heard when he said that.
And as Bert Samuel
and this is why I find it the actions taken, I find it very suspicious.
And as Bert Samuel said, you cut a jacket for fit who you want it for fit.
Yes, that is correct. And the second thing I wanted to say, with such a high-profile investigation going on, something that has never happened since independence in Jamaica, if the Honourable Prime Minister, understands his position where he is at the moment, you would think that he would want someone of high integrity caliber to sit in that seat.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, caller. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ed Boy, morning.
Morning, my brother.
I really wanted to have a discussion with you from week about FATF, you know.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't understand that this FATF thing is a serious thing. And if we get back on the grey list, Jamaica is in further economic problems.
Yes.
So, with Dennis Chung at the head of the FID, you think that will affect Jamaica's position in the financial market globally?
Well, let me set it this way. In 2000, from over a decade or more, Jamaica has been on the grey list. Yeah?
No, Ed Boy, hold on. No. We got on the grey list in February of 2020.
No.
Hold on. In 2015, there was some indication that we are in danger of going on the grey list. Right.
Yeah.
And we got on the grey list February of 2020. We got off the 28th of June, 2024.
Well, the report that I have here, and I sent it to you, yes?
Nice.
It is the FATF report for 2022. And this report says, is that from about 2012, there were reforms of the system, to make attempts, but we did not cover about 40 of the recommendations that FATF were given to us for a while. And things got even worse in 2016. So you're correct. And my timing is a little bit, maybe the timing, but it's around 10. We were being watched from 2010, 2011 onward to 2012.
Right, and 2015, we got official indication that we are in danger of getting on that grey list.
Now, what the grey list does, right? It ranks you as a jurisdiction that is not compliant. Yeah. Now, if you remember, just the other day, we were woken to the news that Jamaica has now been removed from the grey list.
June 28, 2024.
2024.
Yes.
But if you go through the FATF's report, and why, this is where it's important. And I'll tell you at page 14 of the report, right? 1 second. I have it here. Page 6 of the report, which is subsection 14 of the same report. It says the findings of the 2021 NRA, which is were published on the website of the different competent authorities, including the Bank of Jamaica Financial Investigative Division.
Mm-hmm.
So you see why did I do that? I wanted to show you, so you see how integral the FID's role is to this whole process of us being, whether we're on the grey list or we're not on the grey list.
Because let me make it a little bit simpler, Ed Boy. The FID is the financial police in Jamaica.
Exactly.
They are the ones who are to ensure that Jamaica don't become a laundromat for money. That Jamaicans operate above board as it relates to financial transaction, terrorist financing, and all those kind of things.
But look at this, because you see, I want people to understand when the FIU was set up, when the FID, sorry, I keep on saying FIU because we say FIUs. When the FIU was set up, yeah, the FID was set up based on, it was a FATF recommendation that each country is required to establish an FIU, which is the Financial Investigative Unit.
Yeah.
But we know when we did our FIDA, which is our Financial Division Act, yeah, what we did was that we put in the law to allow for a chief technical director. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
And if you read, because one of the things that I think the PNP needs to do more, and even other persons that we have this discussion, Shaka, is look at what the Constitution says about the role of the chief technical director. Yeah?
What the Constitution said about that role?
Exactly what it says. I'm bringing it up in front of me. It speaks specifically to the appointment. Here's my thing here. Right. And so the Constitution says that there shall be in subsection 12 of the FIDA Act, subject to the provision of this act, there should be a chief technical director with the approval of the minister to enter into contract and memorandum of understanding. But I want to get to the point which speaks to it says that it's subject to the section, the chief technical director may exchange with a foreign financial intelligence department information necessary to enable that department to exercise regulatory functions, including the conduct of civil, criminal, or administrative investigations and proceedings. And I will stop there.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to understand the power. So when Marlon Morgan is going around on media saying that what Dennis Strong's role is just mainly a chief technical director and nothing to do with the investigations, who do you think they're going? Who do you think they're fooling?
No, but Ed Boy, I am saying this morning to all and sundry that the word technical means something. You're not just a director. You're a technical director. It must mean something. You're not just a regular manager or a regular director. The word technical means you must have some unusual knowledge dealing with the area that you are going to be the director of.
Right.
And therefore, that is why before January, the requirement for the position, you needed 12 years in law enforcement, and 5 of those 12 must be as a senior manager in law enforcement.
But let me tell you what they have done. What the Public Service Commission, under the instruction of the Prime Minister, has done is one of the most dangerous things we can do to our financial viability as a country. And I'll tell you why. If he goes, because he's going to be required to attend meetings of FATF, this man is going to be exposed to information that, let's say, the FBI, is doing an investigation on the Prime Minister, or the IRS, because he uses American banks. The fact that he moves in US currencies means he uses American banks. That information that the chief technical director will have. Do you know, as per the rule of the same FID, he must alert the Minister of Finance and the Attorney General?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
what is going to happen now is that if Dennis Strong receives information, because remember, he's the only one that communicates when it comes on to FATF, AML, CFT, right? He is the sole person with responsibility for that. What will happen? If him feels a report that comes from the US does not want any action, we can just put it in file 13 like the SSL report.
Yes, yes. Coral Allen, I am suggesting that you take up a dictionary or use your phone and Google the word technical, what it means. Or ask your phone who is a technical director. Or what are the
A technical director normally presides over other senior managers.
Yeah. And you must
so he is the most senior in any organization.
And you must have some knowledge as it relates to the job that is being done. You're not a general manager or you're not a managing director. The word technical means something.
Yeah, but what is worrying, Colin, and what people must know, what Andrew Holness has done is one of the most egregious acts against the potential. Because this report, because a lot of people didn't read the report that removed us from the grey list. It is allowing us to do now. They're saying, the FATF is saying, we have a minimum amount of an under $8,000 US that you can use, that you can actually move in cash in Jamaica without any issues. Yeah, I think that should be equivalent of $1 million US.
Or
right?
It's under 10,000, right?
Yes, it's under 10,000 US. But remember, it cannot be more than $1 million in cash.
In Jamaica.
Right. In So whatever the equivalent is in US is, what FATF said in the recommendation to us is you can now gradually raise your seal up to 15,000 US.
Yeah.
But you can't go above that.
Right.
You cannot go above that. Right? So if Mr. Chong comes now to the FID and is appointed to the position that he's appointed to, and it makes the CFATF, the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, uncomfortable, and it makes the FATF uncomfortable, especially if they're transmitting information and they don't see any action happening.
Yes. Yeah.
What we might have happen is a scenario where we lapse again.
And we don't want to get back on that grey list.
I don't want to get back. I want people to understand. Let's start playing to the diaspora so they understand what we're saying. Dennis Strong's role determines the levels at what when you send one $200 or $300, it is Dennis Strong's role that determines the amount that comes in. Put it plain and simple. Yeah?
Yeah.
So by being compliant, the US can say, okay, or our FIs, financial institutions in Jamaica, can say, okay, because we are compliant, the US will allow. Because remember, we now have a limit on where you can collect at Western Union.
Yes, you do.
Before the grey list issue, we never had it. Yeah?
Yeah.
We never had it. You could go Western Union and collect $1,000 US from your family with no issues.
And people must understand that it was because of this grey list issue why a lot of people got blocked at Western Union.
Exactly.
Whole heap of people
and what was happening
will get blocked because you're collecting money too often. It is because we were on that grey list.
Absolutely. And now that we have done everything, we have suffered the injustice. Because I can tell somebody, last year, Shaka, I came to Jamaica for a function. I had to pay for the function. It was a great function. I had to pay to attend the function.
Yeah.
And just to transfer money from our bank to Jamaica, right? It took 4 days to reach the client. 4 days.
And now things are moving much faster.
Exactly, because what it does is when you are compliant with FATF, you also have what is called de-risking. De-risking means you're given more access to correspondent banks.
Yes.
That will then reduce the risk. So what the correspondent banks, instead of being hard on you, they're saying, okay, they're compliant, so we can relax things, we can allow transactions to flow more. What happens with transactions coming into Jamaica is that because we're on the grey list, it was being held at the clearinghouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the I's have to be dotted and the T's have to be crossed before that money can be released. Now the money coming to Jamaica just come easy. Bank to bank, you don't have a problem.
And that is why I'm saying we cannot afford for Dennis Strong, to come and mess with the gains that we have made. Because by virtue of, and let me tell you something, this is a simple solution to this problem. This is a simple solution to Dennis not taking up the post.
Mm-hmm.
The Governor General, in his judgment, who appoints the Public Services Commission upon the advice of the Prime Minister and in consultation with the opposition leader, can write to the Public Services Commission and say this appointment of Mr. Chung has serious implications for public disorder in the country. I am asking that we rescind and we go back to the table. He has that power.
Or the Prime Minister can just call Dennis and say, Dennis, resign. Is that right? Resign.
Well, remember, let's just be real. Yes, the Prime Minister can do that, but I am not expecting the Prime Minister to do it. You know him, Shaka, you expect any good of the Prime Minister? The only good I expect on him is when him going home.
But guess what? Guess what? But nobody would have to know, say, him call Dennis and say, Ray, Dennis would have just resign, and people that say, all right, Dennis, with his integrity, walked away.
But the man has been there now a week. So where am I going to go? Dennis Chung was sent, and let me tell you something. That Kroll report in relation to SSL, my better judgment, and I understand, like Howard Mitchell, because the next thing, Shaka, let me go back to this point before I go to Kroll. Why Dennis Strong is also deeply disqualified and highly disqualified from being the candidate. He does not, and he must come and tell us, he does not have a CAMS, he does not have a certified, and he's not a certified anti-money laundering specialist. He needs to be. It is a requirement for all heads of financial investigative units or divisions, as we call it.
Say that again. It's a requirement for the head of the FID to have what?
Yes. Every single one. So if you go
to
on
have what?
the head
What you call it?
A CAMS, a CAMS, a certified anti-money laundering specialist. It's a certificate. Yeah.
And he should have that before.
You should have that before you take up any position dealing with money laundering.
But can he go and get it now?
It's not just given to you like that,
Does it require training and all of that?
It requires training. It requires you to go to the different FATF seminars, the regional seminars, international seminars. But it's most of the persons who have these.
Who in Jamaica would have that right now?
I know from a fact that what's his name that was there, Selvin A. Yeah.
But did he get it after he took up the job, or
no,
he had it before?
No. He had it before, because what happens?
What about Justin Felice? He had it before?
Had it as well, because because you are in financial investigation from the police side, what the police force does is that they make available, and FATF makes available to Jamaica, and also there are persons in the Bank of Jamaica that are certified anti-money laundering specialists as well. But they might not have the investigative skills. But when you're from the police force with the investigative skills, they send you to do the seminars, and you get the certificates. Yeah. And it's a long process. It takes over. It's not something that's given to you in 3 months and 2-3 years.
Okay.
Through the rigors of the program.
I am learning about that. I was not aware of that. And it's the first I am hearing that as well.
Yeah, he needs to have it. And I think Peter Bunting was hinting at it, because when he spoke to you last week, he did say that if you were to if you look at a normal compliance officer in any bank in Jamaica, most of them, or any investment of most of them, would have gone through, if not the full CAMS, they would have gone through the partial compliance training, which is surrounding to some of what CAMS specialists will do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the next thing why Dennis Strong and Andrew Holness run the risk of destroying Jamaica's economy and access to correspondent banking is because of Andrew's situation. Andrew Holness was a politically exposed person, a PEP, holding 28 bank accounts. From a FATF perspective and CFATF perspective, it ought not to have happened because he was a PEP. He know in any country you go, PEPs cannot have more than one or two bank accounts in most instances. And if they do, it must be somebody else holding it for them. And the reason for that is because it requires a lot of enhanced enhanced due diligence on the individuals and where they're because of their exposure to the ability to receive government funds. A lot of banks that comply fully with FATF and other sanctions make sure that they don't engage PEPs, especially with at that level so many accounts and funds flowing through.
That is a serious point you're bringing up. We have spoken about that before, but
yes,
looking at it now and doing all the research that I have been doing since all of this crop up, it is a serious issue that needs more digging into. And I think, listeners, viewers, it is about time that our Prime Minister, if he's going to be on the ballot in the upcoming election, he must come clear to the Jamaican people before he gets on that ballot. The Prime Minister have questions to answer to.
But also, if you listen to what Howard said, right? One of the problems that the Prime Minister faces right now and the administration faces right now is in this growing jump up and down and how Jamaica is transformed. What we're seeing, and I've read the last OSED report, right? And the OSED deals with the monitor the flow of funds, but it's particularly for Europe, coming out of Europe. And what they are saying is that there has been a lot of movement of drugs from Jamaica to Europe, and the money is also flowing. And it's getting back into our financial system. So even though we have made headways, what we have seen happen now, Shaka, is that the banking system in Jamaica, particularly on the real estate, investment real estate side, that a lot of funds are now going into building these luxurious apartments and complexes that when you really trace, you can't tell where the money come from.
Lord have mercy.
And that has the risk of creating further problems for us and FATF. Because when you have one man or two women, a man and a woman, right?
Yeah.
That have apartments all over the country with no sense of where the income come from. And that is why you see the real estate boom is where it is now. The real estate market is virtually at a standstill in Jamaica now.
Right, slowing down, yes.
Yes, because it is slowing down because the ill-gotten gains that were placed into the market to look for the turnover, what they did not understand was that they were inflating the market, the prices of these houses to go up in certain places that would never see those prices. And so that person in Jamaica can't afford it. And also the returning residents who would normally buy them, I said, well, we're going to waste my time by the time we could build. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
a lot of that problem. And Shaka, while we're on this, and I go now, first rock, because we never get for talk for the week.
Yeah, first rock.
You know that there is nobody in Jamaica, I think, on the blogging community who has the ability to speak and transport like I do, because I was in the industry, Shaka.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to see when your neighbor in East and West Portland used to land in Ian Fleming.
Talk to me.
On their little small plane.
Yes.
So I know the industry. I've seen for years what has happened. When First Rock was being started, it started in March of 2019. Remember that year. Remember that date. By April of 2019, 1 month after, Faye Hutchinson, who is a director of First Rock, the company, and was also the deputy director. And this is the IC report I'm giving you verbatim, yeah, she was straddling her positions between the Airports Authority Board and First Rock. That period, while she was deputy chair and then eventually became chair, she approved against the better judgment of the board members who said to her no. She approved $409 million in injection into First Rock from the Airports Authority of Jamaica and NMIAL Limited.
We remember that clearly.
Now, we now just see that they had a property that was in receivership because them said First Rock is not in receivership.
Right.
So I don't want nobody sending a liar letter.
Right.
I'll say they have said.
It is the property, and I don't remember the name of the property that
Abani,
that
right?
Sagicor has taken into receivership.
And we just saw a news item yesterday that they have repaid Sagicor, so Sagicor is supposed to release the funds. It's so funny that First Rock could find money so fast.
We heard that they were trying to get money from another financial institution to clear to pay Sagicor.
Oh, so they didn't clear it.
Yeah, man, they got money from another financial institution. That is my understanding. Let me read a message from Yvette here. It says, the certified anti-money laundering specialist CMPS certification is a global recognized credential demonstrating expertise in detecting, preventing, and enforcing anti-money laundering measures.
Absolutely. So
my listeners and viewers end up on the ball, you say it, and I tell you, it's the digital age, so somebody go and Google it and research it and find it.
Yeah, man.
Talk to me now. So we're finishing up. So we have some people want to call.
So ultimately with this First Rock, so Abani, they invested some funds from the Airports Authority. You know what happened? The board was dismissed and all of that. Now that First Rock is in the news, something just dawned upon me. I asked myself the question, but in First Rock inception, this is a new company.
Yes.
Get this big government injection. By the way, First Rock, the Airport Authority Board, breached their own rules, statutory rules,
right,
governing boards under the Ministry of Finance Act are the
and companies that they are supposed to invest in.
Absolutely. So
you're gone low, head boy. We're not hearing you. Speak up in the phone.
Right. So what happened then?
Get back in the phone, head boy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you now.
Right. So when they did that, what happened now was that the drama and the board was dismissed.
Yes.
But where I want to head to is how it is today. First Rock reached to where it was, because most of the principals in First Rock, they're close to members of the government. So we are seeing the same. For example, the chairman Norman Reed was a personal friend of the then Minister of Transport from St. Mary.
Tell her. You mean Western St. Mary? Tell her.
Yes, Norman Reed was the chairman of Port Security Board appointed by Bobby Montague, who was also, Norman Reed was also a very close friend of Michael Lee Chin because he worked closely with NCB when they were acquiring Barclays Bank.
Tell her. Well, people can be friends.
No, I'm not talking about friendship. I'm talking about the coincidence that Norman Reed's First Rock, because he's the chairman, and was also the chairman of a government board when money was being placed into a company that he was a part of. Ooh. That is the scandal.
Ta! Head boy, little more.
That is the scandal. And it's the same funds. During that 1 minute record, during that same period, the minister then must come and answer the question: did you purchase a property in Western St. Mary amounting to the value of over 60 million? And if you did,
in that same period,
how did you come by those funds? Yes?
In the same period.
In the same period. In 2019.
Well, remember that there are 8 parliamentarians under investigation for illicit enrichment.
But the minister's own confession then said that the Integrity Commission was coming to raid his property in
and to arrest and would be arresting him.
I say no further, my brother.
Little
All
more.
the best.
Little more. We had a lot of people calling during the discussion with Ed Boy. And there's one very important one. There's a... Hey, hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Let me look at this message. Oh. Now I see what that is. But the line is open now. Let me call Sonia Ellis. She was calling me. 804-7072. You can call me straight or you can call me on WhatsApp. Sonia, good morning.
Good morning, Colin.
Talk to me.
I don't know if anybody has said this before on the program. But I would like to respond to, what's his name?
Ed Boy?
Marlon Morgan.
Oh, Marlon.
Marlon Morgan. About the requirements that go in on the statutory
filing
declaration.
Yes.
That they only ask for assets, liability, and income.
Yeah.
I would like to point out to Mr. Morgan that as far as I remember, your accounts is part of your asset. Okay?
Yeah.
And when you have an account, it has debit and credit on the statement.
Yes.
Right? So when you send in your asset, you include your debits and you include your credits. And the IC in auditing, if they are auditing that bank statement, they are auditing your spending as in your debits
your
and
personal
your
expense
income as your credits. Right? I just want to point that out to him. You don't have to go and say they don't ask you for your expenditure, so they are not entitled to.
Well,
it is on your bank statement, and once it's on your bank statement,
it's a
an
part.
auditor cannot shut them eye, and that is the reason why them know the Prime Minister had 28 bank account.
Because they did ask him for his personal expense. Because what they were saying, they were seeing more money than the Prime Minister salary should give him.
Yes.
And therefore they wanted to see.
That is where the credits come in. The credits were gone on the account. So more money and than what he earns. And therefore any auditor must find out why. Them can't just shut them eye and say, oh, that is impersonal thing. Because that is what they're doing.
And let me remind you that
personal business them are delved into.
And let me remind you that the Auditor General
is okay.
The Auditor General also sit on the Integrity Commission. All right.
Exactly.
All right, Sona. Thanks for that.
Right.
Sam, morning.
Good morning, Comrade Bell.
Morning, Sam. How you do?
Good morning. Do you realize since 2002, the three Prime Ministers of Jamaica have put in at least 7 or 8 government agencies to curtail corruption?
7? What are those?
Well, remember, FSC, FID, all those was started since 2002 now.
Yeah.
Just merged 3 other agencies into one.
Yeah.
Plus we have the Auditor General.
Well, we have always had the Auditor General.
Yeah. Those are agencies to curtail corruption now.
Yes.
But but corruption has been increased at least 30-fold.
Well, we have
those agencies.
This is the worst we are seeing corruption in this country. It is the worst.
Right.
And
right.
Hold on, that leads me to a question I see Chris Campbell just put in the group. Colin, I have one question for the Jamaican people. What is the source of Andrew Holness's wealth? Where did his original money come from? How did it go from a couple of millions to hundreds of millions? Maybe some Jamaicans want to know that. But Chris, I know the Prime Minister would say, you are bad mind, you're bad mind him. Why you're asking that question? Continue, Sam.
So the question is, I asked the question yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dwayne is not going to do anything to curtail corruption. He will be fall to his detrimental.
Well, him stop talking about it, period.
So only person Jamaica hope is restant to curtail corruption is Mark Jefferson Golden. The question to you now, Mr. Bell, in what format or what should he do to curtail corruption?
What format should who do to curtail corruption?
Mark Golden, if he became Prime Minister.
Well, the first...
One is not going to do it.
No, the first thing has to be done, you see?
Yeah.
And what I would ask Mark Golden to do upon becoming Prime Minister of Jamaica, that within the first year, every member of Parliament statutory filing should be made public for the first year. That Jamaicans can see what it is they are going in with. And I have a radical view that some people don't agree with. I said it last week, Saturday morning. Daniel didn't agree with it. But I don't believe at this stage and the kind of salary that parliamentarians are getting, if they have existing business, they must put them in a blind trust. While you are in office, you should not be doing any business outside of the country's business. If the salary that we are paying you is not enough, leave it alone. Because it is unfair for an average Jamaican to be competing for contracts with members of parliament. It is unfair. And I think we need to stop it. And it even goes worse when it comes down to the Prime Minister. No, Prime Minister shouldn't be hustling and juggling. And I have said it here before. That is why P.J. Patterson in his wisdom said that the pension of a Prime Minister must be equivalent to his salary. So the fact that you're not hustle and juggle when you're in there, when you come out, you can live same way. And that must go in law. That's something that I want to put to Mark Golden. It must stop. It must stop.
And that will curtail corruption?
I think so. Amongst politicians. Corruption amongst politicians. That will curtail. Because now we can look on your salary and say, all right, at this is your salary. We know where you get your money from. If we see you with more than that, we know there's something wrong. Because you see, one of the big things is kickback. When they give out these big contracts, they are collecting a whole heap from it. And then the country not getting value for money, my brother.
Yeah, what Mr. Bell, that policy is there, yeah.
Which one?
The intercommission is there, yeah.
To do what?
For all politicians.
Yeah, but if you're doing other businesses, you have mask the money in the business, them, and you have too much ways to mask the money.
Yeah,
the other one is that all gifts to politicians should be made public. If you're giving a politician a gift, we want to know. We see in other countries of people lose them job over Rolex watching, brother.
Less on that.
All right.
Less on that. When me have a more rigid thing for my going to do.
Talk it quick, make we give somebody else a chance.
We have 8 people on the list. Right? Out of those 8, right? We must properly investigate those 8. And wherever the chief calls, they must be at the court and go to prison. If that don't happen, Mr. Bell, I'm going to fail the people.
All right, Sam. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, man. 804-7072. That's 876-804-7072. We're taking your calls right here live on Portland Spice TV. Andrew is very disrespectful to the citizens of the country after they are the ones who are paying their wages. You see, I hear people talking about the lady that didn't want to shake the Prime Minister's hand.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hold on, brother. If the lady decide that she don't want to shake the Prime Minister's hand and she bowed to him, what no problem? Andrew Wellness is not the lady's boss. And the lady are Andrew Wellness boss. And until Jamaicans start understand that we employ the politicians and they don't employ us, we are going to continue for having these problems. The lady is not pleased with the Prime Minister. And there can be good reason for not being pleased with the Prime Minister. Go ahead, Colin.
Yes, sir. So this thing now with Dennis Chung. First of all, let me clear up what Marlon Morgan say. The Internet Commission did recommend the Prime Minister to get charged, and Kamika Prince refuses to. That's the 4 account that they found with his parents.
That's two. That's and the two account. Two account with his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Same like how she did refuse to charge him one time with the contract contract incident between 2007 and 2009.
You're talking, hold on, slow down.
Fast too long.
Hold on, slow down. You're talking about the Wisconsin matter.
Yes, so same situation.
No, it's different.
So
hold on, Carla, hold on. It's different. Because in the Wisconsin matter, she said she found enough to charge the Prime Minister. She found enough to build a prima facie case against the Prime Minister. However, because of the passage of time, she would not go ahead and charge him because she don't know if she could find the witnesses and all of them things there.
Exactly, yeah. I know it's different, but it's the same lady. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
so
yes, same
he
lady.
Was supposed to be charged. All right, again, no. With the Dennis Chung thing now, I don't want the people to think that it's just about the Prime Minister putting there.
Yeah, man, I'm listening.
Said, yeah. Remember, Paula Lewin said several other persons were to be charged for the SSL, right?
No, it's not Paula. No, hold on, Carla. It's not Paula Lewin said that. That was said by Selvin A., former head of the FID.
Yes, because they send the documents to Paula, so Paula knows too. But Paula said she is waiting on outstanding document from the FID, right? Don't know what those outstanding documents are. This man now, Dennis Chung, come and public in TV station nationwide and said, Bolt money never reach SSL. How do we know that?
Hold on, Dennis Chung said that? You heard Dennis Chung said that?
Yes, sir. It's on the internet. Type it in on your phone on the internet now and you see it.
I know.
Accountant. All right, let me.
Hold on. You're going to find it?
Yeah, man. Never send you, man. Never send you. I'll send you right now too.
Please and thanks, because I heard that argument being branded around on Nationwide, but I never heard from Dennis Chung. So
yes, he said it. And people should focus on this. And it's not about Andrew alone. Because other people are supposed to be charged. Then now, when Usain Bolt come talk out about his money, Paula Lewin ready to put case forward about the lady alone. So what about the next people then that's supposed to be charged?
You see, the FID is also supposed to be investigating SSL, you know.
Exactly.
So we don't know.
I just sent you the information. So look at it. February 13, 2025.
All right. Continue with the argument. I'm listening to you.
Chartered accountant Dennis Chung says the scope of an audit done by a UK-based forensic audit firm will not show what happened with Usain Bolt money that was reportedly stolen before it reached the Callap brokerage.
Yeah, man. So I see the document you sent me. So I'm just putting it in a place where I can access it properly. Oh, I thought it was a voice document, you know, because all right, it said chartered accountant Dennis Chung said the scope of an audit done by UK-based forensic auditing firm will not show what happened with Usain Bolt money that was reportedly stolen before it reached the collapsed broken house. Oh, well, I see that. I never see that before.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that to my attention. It's the first me I see that, brother. But that even made the thing worse.
So I try to tell you that everybody talk about the Prime Minister alone. It's SSL too and other corruption too. Because all him know say the money never reach here. When him see, when him know, and him say my political analyst.
Well, maybe they're getting information. Maybe they're getting information, because remember that even when the IC tabled their report to the Parliament, Nationwide was able to give us information from the report before it was really opened in the Parliament. So they might know things that we don't know.
But Dennis Chung get that information and he wasn't at FID.
Then he might did that. He might did that NNN.
Jesus.
You understand what I say?
Yeah,
NNN was able to tell us what was in that IC report before it was open in the Parliament. You remember that? They were able to tell us about the accounts with Andrew Holness and his parents and that no money never in them.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, you can't put nothing past them, brother.
But the thing is, and next thing I get, the lady, the 60-year-old lady, no, 78-year-old lady, will say, when she gave the person, this guy, the lady said she never forget. When she gave the guy the money, the guy said to her, if SSL goes under, your money is in Cayman. Oh, who is that person? Why that persons are not in jail?
You see, we're skirting around a whole heap of things in this country, brother. And a whole heap of things been pushed under the rug because other people may be involved and they are protecting themselves. And by protecting themselves, other people are getting away. Because there's a saying coming out of Nigeria that when you're going to do corruption, you corrupt everybody in your circle.
Even the owner of SSL, those persons should have locked up.
Them man good not even that Jamaica no more, brother. Good not even that Jamaica no more.
I don't know how Jamaica I got better with.
And that's why I am saying to the people of Jamaica, when the election is called, go out and vote PNP. I mean, I tell you directly, say go vote PNP because we have to get rid of that set of managers here so that we can now do a forensic audit of what is happening in Jamaica.
All right.
What is happening in Jamaica can't continue.
That's why I just want a gap. You see the elder we ask it. We say what gonna better corruption. We have to make example of you feel say anyhow we send when times the PNP win now and we send these criminals go to prison. You feel say the next somebody whether PNP or JLP, you think say them gonna want to I go come and do the foolish, you see them foolish.
And that's why
we have to go to prison now.
Yeah man, we have to set an example now.
Exactly.
We have to set an example.
And that's why you see England them and if this did that mean in England, man, the country missing less than this. And the people believe no of say.
Last year or year before last, England changed about 3 prime minister. Back to back.
Yes, Boris Johnson to keep party when COVID and one.
Exactly.
Yes. And he must look at that.
Exactly. But in Jamaica, we had Floyd Green who was partying, mocking the people of Jamaica, saying, show our labor rights and drinking champagne, who is back as the Minister of Agriculture. You see the difference?
Yes, but you have a Prime Minister where we have criminal activities, so that is the use. We're worse.
And that's why we are saying to Jamaicans, labor rights and PNP, an example must be set. So we need to vote out this government, do a forensic audit. Also, every parliamentarian who are going into the parliament, all of them must do a statutory filing showing all their assets, liabilities, income, that we can see it within the first year. We must know all of where them are going there with, that we can continue to watch what it is that they are doing while they are sitting in the parliament, paid by the people of Jamaica. They're not supposed to be stealing from us. All right, my brother, enough respect.
Yeah, blessings for it.
Yeah, man. We cannot continue. You see, one of the problems is a man broke in your house and rob you, and you're vexed. Yeah? But the politician, you're paying them to rob you. Hello? How can we give you a job and you take the job and rob with blind? Me give you a job and you have the job to compete against me because you have better knowledge, because you are in the parliament, you know what is going to happen. So you are thief land, you are buy land for cheap because you know so a road are going to make round there and you're selling back the land to the government. Time come. Parliamentarians are now well paid. No hustling and juggling while you are in the parliament. You have your business before you get in there. Put it in a blind trust. Put it in a blind trust. Colin, no PNP is going to get any work in Portland. What do you mean? In some situation, not shaking hand can be considered disrespectful. But the lady acted respectfully to the Prime Minister. Nevertheless, some people ego burst because they believe she disrespected the Prime Minister. She bowed. She bowed. And I think that is respect. I don't want you to touch me. And there are a lot of people in Jamaica who will not shake this Prime Minister's hand. Because this Prime Minister is referred to as the most honorable. And the Integrity Commission of Jamaica is saying to us, hold a minute. Hold on. We can't tell you say this man is honorable. And I am saying to the Prime Minister of Jamaica and to all labor rights, before the Prime Minister get up in him feelings, he need to clear him name. And I believe that the Prime Minister said to the FID from the Integrity Commission, send the thing, investigate me and clear me now. Investigate me now. I make we know. TAJ, hurry up this. I am sure that Andrew Holness, I mean, I'll say it this morning, if a PNP Prime Minister was in the position that Andrew Holness is in, hell and powder house round here, this would have turned over a long time. May I tell you that no PNP Prime Minister could be sitting in an office while Andrew Holness and Audley Shaw and Bobby Montague and Everard Warmington are in opposition with their financial not certified by the Integrity Commission. That could not happen. Me I tell Jamaica that this morning. Andrew Holness, Bobby Montague, Audley Shaw, Everard Warmington, Kerisia Morrison would not have any Prime Minister sitting in office with their statutory filing not certified. Parliament turn over. PNP too decent. I mean, I ask nobody nothing about that. Missy Richard Azan make 2 buildings for people selling her, for poor people selling her. And Andrew only say, I will not sit in the parliament with you. And you, Andrew Holness, for 3 years, your statutory filing not certified. Me, I tell you, Andrew said, that could not with you as opposition leader. Help up. Tell her. Parliament, turn over. I'll want me. When want me done, we don't know. Hello? When want me done, we don't know. Parliament mash up. Election would have a call. and you go to court and the judge just told you, we will not instruct the Integrity Commission to certify you. Jamaica first. My problem is that, hold on there. Hold on. Showerman.
So, Warrington done Marky G, you know, give up in British citizenship.
Marky G give up in British citizenship long time.
No, so I'm going to think that we see my show that.
So well, you want to see it? You see it?
I want to go public with it. I know the parliament want to go show it.
Let me tell you something. Andre Stevens is sure. Hold on, man. Listen. Andre Stevens is sure.
It alone.
Listen, man. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Andre Stevens is sure have more viewership than most radio and TV show in Jamaica, brother. Remember me tell you that.
Andre Stevens is a friend of Mark Gold, and Mark Gold in him back. So I'm showing you like a thing.
But
just
the man,
the man Cliff Hughes have a labor right. Stevens is show a pay Mark him back.
Listen, a picture is worth 1,000 words. The man showed the picture. And as I said to you, Showerman, there is no legal requirement for Mark Golding to give up him citizenship. So that is rubbish. Mark Golding never need to give it up, but him give it up already. Brother, answer me this question. You think Mark Golding could enter the parliament as prime minister with his statutory filing not certified under Andrew Holness, Everard Warmington, Audley Shaw, Bobby Montague, Darrell Vaz in opposition? You think that could have did that?
No, that could have done nothing.
Tell her, tap it.
Andrew
Holness, when Richard Azan built 2 shop down at Clarendon for poor black woman selling her, come out of the sun and selling her, Andrew Holness said, I will not sit in the parliament with you.
But Azan is still in the parliament.
Yes. But up to now,
Andrew could have only said that, but Azan is still in there.
But up to now, nobody knows they not sit with Andrew Holness yet with him statutory filing not certified. And $400 million passing through him account. People lodging over $4 million in him account and we don't know who.
To the commissioner, them to do what them to do.
But them say them not certify him.
Because you know why they get pay for that.
No, they're not getting no pay for it. They are saying, and let me tell you what they say. They said $4 million was lodged to the Prime Minister's account by what them call it? On what? Uncertified person. They can't tell you who lodged that money. This is $4 million in cash lodged to the Prime Minister account. That is a red flag. 2, they said that the Prime Minister take money from a charitable organization and buy stocks and bonds for himself. Yeah? 3, they said that the Prime Minister got a loan of $50 million from Berita. And the collaterals that he was supposed to use was not in the company's name at the time. The house and the bonds that he was going to buy, that he was supposed to use, were not yet purchased.
Because there's something now.
Yeah.
You see my building house? Eh?
May I listen?
I saw they did that about in brother-in-law, they give money this and in that, Peter Philip and the whole of them. And when I take a sack, the same DK don't can them place and then he borrow money from them become show.
No man, him say borrow money from SSL.
Shaka me never about SSL in time. Me about what DK don't can place name.
JMMB and the same thing the bank where there are new kings who have the big insurance. That's the core. Eh?
Them 2 places name car and get the money to borrow.
Me remember SSL. If you watch the video,
I never did to remember he have that.
Watch the video. Wow, how much degrees not with Zara Burton, and you will see. Go watch that video with Zara Burton.
You see the one who just come out for your program a while ago. Yeah, find out what you call him.
Head boy.
Head boy. Where you live? Jamaica live or you live on foreign?
Me no know. Me no know where you live.
Then how he can find so much thought like him bigger than the lion we just a while ago. He know everything. He know overseas are going. He know everything. Boy, if he's a dangerous liar, but you cannot actually me alone and play right. Can they for your program? I never second to back me up, you know.
They never your Marlon Morgan come in a little while.
Marlon just run, come and just give a chat and run both in Ghana funeral.
Marlon afraid Marlon can't answer the questions.
You know, because alone can't for your program as a labor. Rest of them up here, PMB, them would have killed you.
Big up yourself, Shower Man.
All right, my boss.
Bless up. You know, me love Shower Man, you know, because Shower Man listen. Shower Man listen. But, yeah, Colin, they said anonymous sources lodged the money to the Prime Minister account. 18 degrees north is the program, Shower Man. Go listen to it. Fitz Bailey was talking. Said money come from SSL. Yeah. So, all I am saying to Jamaicans, you know, and to the labor rights who are supporting the Prime Minister, close your eyes, hold a meditation, and say to yourself, Mark holding a Prime Minister, him statutory filing not certified. Him have 28 bank account. Him have $400 million transferring between accounts. And the Integrity Commission said to the FID, do more investigation. Would you be comfortable? Would you be comfortable? I said this to you. The word illicit, illegal, unauthorized, unethical, unacceptable. The Prime Minister is under investigation for unacceptable actions by the Integrity Commission. If you have your business and somebody submits a resume to you, and when you do your background check, you find that this person is under investigation. Hold on, caller. Is under investigation for illicit activities. Would you still employ that person? And if your answer is no, it means you cannot employ the Prime Minister. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Sir Colin. Just calling quickly overseas.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, the answer is definitely no. But my thing that I want to ask, people that are this semantics about the young lady being disrespectful to the Prime Minister. I personally don't see where she was being disrespectful.
She weren't,
because looking at the video, she was very cordial
and she was
answering his questions, what she want as a citizen.
Yes.
Because one of the things with a lot of people now, they put people on a pedestal and let them feel like they supersede others. No. The lady was voicing her complaints. And if I disagree with something, it doesn't mean say, okay. So she's going to shake the Prime Minister and make it feel like, say, within herself, say, okay, she feel happy. She's also showing the sign of disgust. Yes. So she's not satisfied with what is happening, but she was very respectful. Is it that we can't agree to disagree?
But let me say this, but Carla, the lady bowed. She bowed.
Exactly.
Every time Damien said to her, shake him on, she said, sir, and she bowed. Sir, and she bowed. Every time. She bowed.
So she agreed to disagree with certain things. So she agreed to show him cordial respect by saying, sir, speak with him nicely. If you listen to how the lady was articulate now. She should tell him the place where name, all of them, something there, the issues them she have and all of that. And she was showing respect. Others would have been more vulgar and maybe show a different demeanor. But to me, the lady, and if she wished not to shake the Prime Minister hand, so be it. These are all semantics because, and this is the thing that I'm going to ask you the question. And I say to you already, I don't really go on the Labour platform, but when I do go through the internet and scroll through and decide to stop, I don't hear the level of reasoning communications, because with so much achievement they say they have, why is it that their platform doesn't have this kind of reach to the persons? All I hear is be a war, them a cuss and say PNP are liar. They all try to debunk. Maybe that's what the Prime Minister said. Debunk the truth that the PNP is saying.
Yeah.
Because they don't follow truth.
No.
They don't follow truth.
As I said to
And
you
that's
on this
the problem.
program, I said to you, truth and GLP have no lot in our part. Them not.
Yeah, so let me tell you something. It's just a matter of time, because let me tell you something. When I hear even Miss Dalwell talk, the people them proud and poor, yet still you have a government who provide. I tell you, sir, it might provide prosperity.
There's no prosperity.
I don't want you rich who have a bag of money if you tell me say me proud and poor.
No.
Oh, you for there stand up and tell me say well you have a bag of money where you get a Mercedes Benz and you say if you get and you pay 900,000 I quote. You have enough money, so you got to jump on them say, you know what that tell me say? It's like them don't want to say the man, the ghetto youth them the poor people elevate.
No.
Them want to accept them say, okay, my poor, some of them be proud. Them don't want to elevate them.
No.
You ever go up on a stage to tell the people them say, yeah, them poor, but them proud?
Later,
you don't
brother.
need to tell me that.
Later.
All right, my boy.
Respect. Shaka, I don't know if you realize that Showerman openly agree with you. The PM should not be re-employed by admitting that he wouldn't employ a person who is under investigation for theft. Showerman is a reasonable man, you know. Very reasonable. Very reasonable. Call me now. 876-804-7072. Those are the numbers. You can call me straight or you can call me on WhatsApp. Remember, our man did ask him about no KFC in St. Thomas. Then he turned to the woman in the church. No, I don't understand that. Good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good morning.
Morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Bell. In regards to the Prime Minister,
yes,
let us look at it through this lens. Imagine someone being in a relationship and accused of cheating. And the spouse says, let me see your phone.
Yeah.
What the Prime Minister has done, it's like he's been accused of, or things don't look so right where his finances are concerned.
Yeah.
And the IC is saying, let us get some more information.
And
instead of this person turning over their phone to be reviewed to clear them of any form of charges of cheating, he's going to go to one of his friends and say, tell her or tell him that she does not have the right to see what's going on in my phone. And that's the same thing where he took the IC to court to say that, they don't have the right to know what is going on where his personal finances are concerned. When it would be so much simpler to basically just clear the air and provide us with the information necessary to know that everything is above board. So in him doing that, he's only further incriminating himself, and he has damaged his public reputation very extremely, And I just hope he sees it through that lens. But also, if you should look at his plans for he's planning for a next term, as a Jamaican, you're not inspired by it. You're not motivated by it because it really doesn't have any plans for the future of this country.
All right, my brother. Thanks very much. Well said.
Yes. Have a good one.
876-804-7072. That's 876-804-7072. We're taking your calls at this time. Hey, almost 900 people are watching the show live. And my uncle have 252 likes. You don't like the show? Like up the show, man. Yeah, brother, welcome.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, man, like up the live, my people. Like up the live and share the live so that we can educate more people. We should have at least 500 likes go on, and everybody can like up it, Touch the thumbs up. That's how you like up the show. Click on the thumbs up. It now costs you nothing. Just like it up. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, blessing, man.
Welcome.
Listening to the attorney, Bert Samron, when he was interviewing him, and listening to you before him, you was talking about the integrity report, and you said that listening to the farmer,
chairman.
the farmer head of the integrity.
Farmer, the chairman, yeah.
Yeah. And he said that, they have the facts.
Yes.
These people are people who uphold integrity and know laws and so forth. So these men, as I said, they are not person who just come with something and fix up something to try to catch somebody or make somebody look bad.
No.
But these people come with facts, because they know that, remember, it's the Prime Minister of Jamaica, it's not just anybody. So they have to make sure they vet this very carefully.
Yes.
Yeah, so they would not just to come and just to rush or even to lay charge on him or things like that, because they know that, people say that they would want to bring the government down and so forth. So they have to make sure that everything is vet. So they make sure they say that they put out the facts. I don't know if you look at my last point, looking at the Prime Minister, it doesn't look like himself, to be honest. It doesn't look like himself.
I think he's worried.
I
think he's worried.
Yeah, he is pastoral. I mean, you're shame, but you just have put on a mask over your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might call him shame face, but it a show. It a show. It look very shameful.
Hold on for me, caller.
He's trying to put out his best.
Hold on for me. 876-804-7072, the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
I show up on Wayne Road some TV, which a woman did ask the Prime Minister set her hand to shake a woman's hand, and she refrained from it. I'm listening some people say, well, then the woman should get charged. Come on.
Charge for what?
What kind of Jamaica are we into?
Charge for what?
Charge for, listen me, she should get charged for disrespect the head of state of Jamaica. Which part do we have a head of state of Jamaica?
The Prime Minister is not the head of state.
Well, the Prime Minister, well, what would I say? At the head of the country at the moment. Tell me something.
Hold on. The head of state is the Governor General. He's the head of the state.
Okay,
the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister.
However,
the Prime Minister.
But those people need to realize and understand that the Prime Minister is a servant to that lady.
That's what me want them to understand.
The lady is the boss, not Anjo.
That me want them to understand.
And if the lady is not comfortable with Anjo wholeness, she don't have to shake him, man.
No, but
the lady was very disrespectful. The lady bowed, The lady bowed.
I employ you to work for me, right?
Yes.
And after I employ you to work for me, I find you messed up.
Yeah.
You messed up in which me request to fire you.
Hold on for me. Hold on. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yeah, Mr. Bell. Morning.
Hold the line for me. I'm coming right back to you. Hold on.
No.
Yes, sir. Finish up.
I intend to fire you. What kind of shake me I go shake you when you grieve the spirit of me to fire you? Tell me why.
Can I tell you a short story?
Mm-hmm.
I had a discussion with a superintendent of police as it relates to an event that I was going to have. And the amount of money that she charged me, I was very upset. Anyway, we come to a conclusion. And she said I should shake her hand. And I said to her, no, I will not shake your hand. Well, she maliced me for a very long time.
That's her business.
Yeah, but me now go shake your hand and make you think everything all right when it's not all right.
That's it.
All right.
So what they want she to do, pretend as if everything I am with you.
Yo.
And I am not.
Mm-hmm.
I am not with you.
Right, I'll call you, yeah.
So, we will go shake your hand.
Hold on for me. 876-804-7072. Good morning.
Morning, Colin. I just had to say this. I don't know why everybody carrying on like that. It was just the other day that the King of Spain, I remember they had some landslide and some areas in a particular community were badly damaged. And the people then throw mud on the king. So who the hell is Andrew?
You see, a lot of Jamaicans fail to understand that politicians are employed by us. They are not our superior. They are not our bosses. We are the bosses. We pay them. So if me no feel like shake the Prime Minister on, no quarrel with me.
Even Bush, remember Bush when he was at some conference and show shoes at him, big USA president.
How much of them did come out and cuss when Warmington called me chink, flea and fly?
None of them. So guess what? They have no say. You see, what they have is rules for thee and not for me.
The Prime Minister and Warmington, they are my servant. And they are a servant of the same lady. And for some reason, I don't know what her reasons are, she never feel like she want to shake and Joel's hand. So she gave him a bow. And him never, what Crawford said, shake him hand. She bow again. Crawford said, shake him hand. And she bow again because she did not feel a need to shake his hand. Nobody should have quarreled with her.
Crawford should never have insisted because we still wear the whole of them in them obia, in them this. Don't shake them hand. Move off them feet if you feel like, but don't shake them hand.
Touch not the Lord anointed. Tell him! Little more.
Bye-bye.
Blessings. Yes, sir. Finish up for me now.
Yeah, and the next thing we want to ask Jamaican people, if it, may I ask, I'm at a may I ask you as a sensible man, I figure more or less. If do you have a case in the court, and the judge will sit on the case, and you a friend, or him know everything about you, and him did say when in a case when he see it, he did say, boy, you know, say you're guilty, and in a yourself, you know, say you're not guilty. If that judge sit on the case, you know why not more to send in a prison.
Well, me I go ask him to remove himself from the case.
So what I'm saying here,
I said to my lawyer that man they tell me say me guilty, you know. So he can't try me.
If he excuse himself from the case.
Yes, man.
So why saying this now? When you see Dennis Chung did already prove the Prime Minister not guilty, how can you be the investigator?
Well, I don't know if him never said not guilty, but him say it's frivolous and 28 account and on nothing.
Well, yeah. for my view is him already proved say there is nothing for him in doing nothing that is wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
From my standpoint, and I don't believe this is your standpoint, but from my standpoint.
Hold on for me. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yeah, man, we just call and get cut off.
Yeah, man, are you hung up? Talk to me.
And I was watching a show near All Newscast.
Name what?
No. Carl's New. No. Yeah, All Newscast. Right, then I was talking about the lady that don't shake the Prime Minister hand.
Yeah.
And they were saying she should get at least 6 months of jail.
For what?
For not shaking the Prime Minister hand.
Anybody who said that should I get Anybody who said that should I get 16 months of jail to be an idiot?
And in the same news, in the same blogging, they describe Margot in a slimy, this, the wet look like wet, this look like something. I say, me not shake somebody hand. I'm going to get 6 months, and you see him turn around and describe an next human as all kind of nasty, corrupt, slimy, this, that.
Hold on, the caller. Hold on for me. Hold on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
All the line are coming back to you. Hold on. Yes, sir.
So me I wonder how them political people think. So it's all right for you say anything about our next person or deal with him anyhow. Remember the lady downtown at Desmond when I say about Mark they're hungry, he's slimy, but no, he's raw like. So nobody no make them that issue.
No man. Them on the want where them say somebody's reminding me that Tanya Stevens did not shake his hand neither. But the Prime Minister must start looking to himself and understand why Jamaican people are resenting him. A lot of people resent the actions of the Prime Minister. A lot of people are embarrassed by having a Prime Minister that is statutory filing cannot be certified. Labor rights need to understand that. And if the labor rights really are people of integrity, they would not allow Andrew Holness to lead them into the next election. Say no more, caller, a little more. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, you remember Andrew Holness refused to shake the ombudsman hand?
Up, Tala! I just remember that one.
Okay, good.
Good.
The other thing is the who for hand. Are the woman hand or people hand? Or
no,
for hand?
No, feed them on. I must feed them on.
So if you know so somebody mixed up in an iniquity and sin, you will shake the hand?
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
If me know you deal with certain type of something, if me shake your hand, that means that me agree with what you do.
Then
so me make you know clearly your lifestyle is not the lifestyle I accept. So I am not going to shake your hand.
And shaking your hand, it means I'm in agreement with you, and I'm not in agreement with you. I'm not shaking your hand.
One other thing. If you add 2 and 1, how much you get?
If you add 2 and 1,
no
get 3.
Right. And if you add 1 and 2, now the same 3 you get.
Same 3.
How can you be
hold on, caller. Hold on for me. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Let me on the program, please.
Huh?
Let me on the program.
Yeah, man. Just hold the line for me. We're coming back to you. Hold on.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How can you earn $9 million per year and your transactions in your bank equals to $475 million? How would that work out?
Well, I want the labor rights them to tell me. Them say we bad mind when you ask that question. You're damn bad mind. You're too bad mind. You're too bad mind. Why you asking that? You're bad mind.
But me and you answered the bad mind question already, you know. Because everybody was thief. Me can't bad mind a thief.
No, sir, it's good mind. Mark Golden says good mind we have coming up against poor governance. Good mind leaking out against corruption. Good mind leaking out against untransparent actions.
Look at it simple, Colin. Simple. Why would somebody have 28 bank accounts?
Howard Mitchell said that is the first red flag of financial fraud.
How can you move
money
over
laundering.
3,000
money laundering
bank transactions across banks?
Yeah,
3,000 or more transactions across the bank. You must signal something.
Well, Colin Anderson has also said that he called the citizens dogs just the other day. He called comrades dog. Damn right, lady, don't shake your hand. Kind of say we are dog. Dog no shake hand. Little more, brother.
All right, cool.
876-804-7072. Good evening. Good morning.
Hi, Mr. Colin.
Go on, General.
There, you know.
Talk to me.
Yeah, shaking. There's a law in Jamaica where you're supposed to shake people hand.
There's a law where you must shake people hand? Where that come from? No law, no they say that, brother. No law, no they say that.
Anyway, the Prime Minister should be respected.
Yeah, man. The office of the Prime Minister.
And this Prime Minister, whenever I'm go on the platform, him don't have Jamaica interest at heart. He have parties at heart.
You think the Prime Minister has brought the office of Prime Minister into disrepute? Andrew Holness has brought the office of Prime Minister into disrepute?
Exactly. So what I'm saying, when you go on the platform, is not in a film interest, is not speaking to Jamaica as one. Is speaking to a party. That's why he can be able to call people bad mind. Right?
Yes.
So I guess when nobody shake his hand, is an example of bad mind. That's how I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
At times these leaders understand that you're not representing a party.
You're representing the country as a whole.
You're representing the country. So you cannot go on stage all the while belittling the nation.
Yes. And
have them put you there, regardless of who them prefer, them serve or whatsoever. You must speak with respect. Right?
Yes, sir.
You can't be a prime minister whenever time you criticize. You become soft and weak and thin skin.
Yes, sir.
And believe you're not to be criticized. And then you call people all kind of names. Then we stop that.
I agree with you totally, my brother.
You represent the people. You can't make your ego get the better of you. You understand?
All right,
and
my brother.
This man is not a leader. We want a leader who is clean and have integrity and is caring to society, to its values and attitude.
Talk to me.
And Mr. Chung now.
Yes.
Is between a rock and a stone.
What's the difference?
Because the Prime Minister, look, remember I said the Prime Minister put him there. For shred documents and delete files.
No, the Prime Minister put him there. It's the Service Commission of Jamaica put him there.
All right. Well, them associate with them. But why you move the law of the application?
The requirements.
The
requirements for 12 years in law enforcement and 5 years in a senior managerial position. That was removed.
And the man said he was asked to take up the job. That means you make it easy for him to get the job.
Well, Raymond Price said the job find him and never him find the job. And the job find him. The job was tailored for him. So
what you do now? You give him the job now if you go delete files and shred documents.
I'm not saying that. But make we talk again here, brother. We have a few more people who want to talk to
Prime Minister need to look himself and go learn. Him need to come down and face him deeds.
Yes, I. Call it, Andrew. Later.
All right, boss.
Yeah, man. Andrew have to call it. Have to call it. I tell you, Jamaica, we are in an embarrassing position. Very, very. We have a caller? Hello? Hello, good morning. It sounds like we have a call on the line and I'm not hearing. Hello? Hello, good morning. Definitely we have a call on the line. Let me clear that. Let's see if we have cleared that call. We are unable to make any call if we have that call on the line. Still. So somebody that we have maybe talked to before has not hung up their phone. So we have to do this to ensure that we cut that call off. But my people, it seems to me like the office of Prime Minister is in disrepute. And you're going to have people have them standard, you know. And when people have them standard, you can't tell people to lower them standard to please you. And the Prime Minister said that he would not sit in the Parliament with Richard Azan. And it is my humble view that the dilemma that the Prime Minister is in is worse, much worse than what Richard Azan was in. Richard Azan built some shops for women to ply their wear in a more comfortable situation. And Prime Minister Andrew Holness was up in arms against Richard Azan, said that he would not sit in the Parliament with Richard. Jeffrey.
No. Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Me there, man. Wagwan.
I am here, my friend. I hear this hullabaloo about this woman not shaking the prime minister's hand.
Yes.
And I don't understand Jamaicans. Jamaicans are the only people in the world who worship politicians and don't realize that politicians are the servant of the people. The lady has a right in her own rights not to shake his hand. It is her hand. And if she don't want to shake his hand, so be it. If the lady want to shake Mark Golding's hand, so be it. If the lady want to shake the Governor General's hand, so be it. It is her hand. There is nowhere in the Constitution of Jamaica or the law of Jamaica that compel a Jamaican citizen to shake the Prime Minister, the opposition leader's hand, or the Governor General's hand. The Jamaicans must understand that they run things, not the PM.
Talk to
and
me.
the woman don't want to shake his hand. Why the hell is hullabaloo all over?
Talk to me. Nothing. The lady paid the lady paid him her respect by bowing.
There you go.
Yes.
So I don't understand Jamaicans. Why you all believe that we must bow and stop up to these politicians? Huh? The former president of the United States went to Iraq. And an Iraqi take off his shoes and throw at him, George Bush.
Yeah, man. Biggest disrespect. Fling our shoes half time.
I hear Americans cussing President Trump no out of bad word in his presence. What do they do about it? It is their constitutional right, it's freedom of speech. And the Jamaican people must understand that the politicians don't, they don't answer to the politicians, the politicians answer to them.
The disrespect for me would be if that lady tried to shake the Prime Minister and him not shake Fiaran.
Thank you.
That I would see as a disrespect. Because the lady is the boss.
The Prime Minister is not God Almighty.
The lady is the boss, not the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is referred to as the chief servant.
Servant of the people of this country.
Chief servant.
He's a chief servant of the people of Jamaica. In case those who are not talking, the word minister in Latin means chief servant of the people. And they must understand that and stop this nonsense about the woman should be locked up and the woman should be charged for what?
I idiot them.
Charged for what?
Jeffrey, I idiot them there.
Sick as hell in this country. We have more things to speak about in this country, more than shaking a Prime Minister's hand. Who the hell is the Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister must go get his statutory filing certified.
Thank you. Yes, we must respect the office of the Prime Minister. It's our office.
Yeah, man.
Whether we are PNP or JLP, it's our office. But if we do not want to shake none of them hand, we're not compelled to do so under no law in this country or in the Constitution. We don't live in a totalitarian country.
All right, Jeffrey.
The last time I checked, Jamaica is a democracy, not a totalitarian country. We're not living in Xi Jinping China. I have to make one Russia.
All right, my brother. Enough respect.
Yeah, man. Respect you, Colin. All the best.
Yeah, man. 876-804-7072.
Yeah, good day.
Good day. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I heard you make a point this morning about the government would not be if Andrew Holness was the opposition leader and Mark Golding was the Prime Minister, they wouldn't allow him to be Prime Minister of the country with the amount of corruption charges. But I even would go further and say the PNP itself would turn on itself. They wouldn't wait until the opposition turn on them. They would turn on themselves. Because we have seen they turn on themselves already for less than that.
May I listen? I not get your argument fully yet, but may I listen to you?
No, what I'm saying, persons within the PNP party would never allow it to get to that.
It couldn't be. It couldn't be for true. It couldn't be.
They wouldn't wait till it get to that, you know.
Oh,
they would turn on their one another.
Well, I wouldn't say turn on their one another, but like in England, people from the ruling party said to the Prime Minister, no, you got to go.
Yeah.
Got to go.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
You cannot have a leader of your country not being able to live within the parameters of the law. Cannot be. It's untenable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I see one little clown. I not even read no message from that the clown there. There's a clown in the chat room. They come here regular, but there's a clown in the chat room this morning. I have no sense. My brother, enough respect and thanks for the call here, sir.
Yeah, man.
All right. Let me tell you something. Any self-respecting nation, Andrew Holness would have to step aside. And I say to the 49 labor rights in the parliament, you are doing yourself an injustice. And I hope the Jamaican people find you all guilty and let you pay for the injustice that you are doing to this country. Go ahead, caller.
Morning.
Morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning. Yeah. You know, you take the word out of my mouth about self-respecting citizens. But you know the truth is, and the caller before, you see civil society and the media that I regard as the watchdog for the people. If the private sector and the media was clamoring for the Prime Minister to step aside as he is being investigated, he would. But the private sector is silent on the issue. The media, the conventional media houses, they are also silent. And I would never see the media and the private sector be so silent if it were the PNP in office, quite frankly.
There's a difference. There's a difference, my brother, and I tell you something. Private sector and medias are afraid of this government. And they are afraid of victimization. And that's why people who normally talk when the PNP was in power are silent now. And anytime the PNP get back in power, they are going to regain their voices because the PNP in government is not as vicious as this government that is in power. They are vicious and people are fearful.
So in other words, the private sector and the media supporting the government, so they are prepared, say, that the government probably will have another term in office because they are fearful.
I never said that
so
they
that's
support
what
them.
Tell me. No, I know you're not saying that, but to me, if I'm looking at this from a deductive reasoning and looking at it at the next level, they are prepared to be silent with the possibility that the government get a third term. You know, I'm just, looking at the kind of reasoning about their fears. So what you basically are telling me, they have no problem with condoning wrongdoing.
Well, you have to ask them.
Because it can't be out of fear, because if fear could have caused them to think that because them silent, the possibility that the Prime Minister would have another term in office, then that's frightening to me. And then the last thing about this old Prime Minister business, there is no way under the sun that a Prime Minister can be investigated for illicit enrichment, and he has not taken away himself and resigned until his case is dealt with. Because right now, as he's in office, he's really interfering with the investigation.
Yeah, because
he can take a man who agree with him that nothing is wrong, and put him as the highest person in the organization that's supposed to be investigating him. How could that be?
Hence, we have Dennis Strong going to the FID, brother.
And anyway, the whole situation to me is really untenable, man. This Prime Minister, I can tell you, has no shame and no self-respect. And why I say that strongly,
when Richard Azan had done something for the poor people, he says he could not sit in parliament with Richard Azan. And what Richard Azan did could have bring down the entire government. So if him said that, and when you look at the gravity of his situation and his ministers like Ruel Reid and the former speaker who found herself as a criminal, as it were, charged, and they are still there. You know, if something is radically wrong, what civil society doing, what the private sector doing, what the media doing, who's the watchdog for the people. Thank you very much, sir.
Blessings, my brother. And I call on the churches finally. What are the churches doing? Chris, you're going to be the final caller. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Hi, Colin. How you doing, mate?
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, man.
Can you hear me clearly?
Clearly, yes.
Okay, I would like to look at a very important teaching which Jesus Christ was teaching the disciples. You remember when Jesus gathered the disciples and that's about the 12 disciples? What he was telling the disciples, he said, be careful of the scribes and Pharisees. And these are the people who are the doctors, the teachers, the corrupt politicians, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Technically, the observation of what Jesus Christ was telling the disciples, he said, there are people in life you run to, and there are people in life you run away from.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So when that young lady did not shake the Prime Minister's hand, she have learned the lesson that there are people in life you run away from. You run away from the fools.
Yes.
And you run to the wise. You run away from the corrupt people. And you run to the people who are pure and honest.
Yes.
And that teaching we need to remember. There are people in life you run to, and there are people in life you run away from. You know what I mean?
Understand you clearly.
I support a young lady when she can shake his hand. She knows what it means to run away from.
Yes.
Not to run to.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, take care, mate. I'll keep listening to your program.
Blessings, man, and thanks for listening. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, we are inviting you to subscribe to the channel, like and share, become an ambassador of Portland Spice TV, and ensure that we send this channel across the world, give people the opportunity to listen to good conversation, sensible conversation, because, you know, there are a lot of stupidity out there, a lot of people who don't even know what is it that they eat when they eat, and they spew a lot of rubbish. Christopher, please don't address that fool. Do not address that fool. Go ahead, Obi.
Hi, Colin. Morning. How you doing?
But there, you know, brother. They're on the wrap up, but I see you, so you know we have to talk.
Respect to yourself and your viewers and your listeners. Colin.
Yes.
I want to weigh in on two quick things this morning. Earlier today I was on News.93 FM with Naveen Harris and another gentleman that hosts the Saturday morning program. 380 degrees. It's a mixed program with religion and so on. But they have me on each morning to do a feature that we call Both Sides of the Fence. We're weighing on things that are impacting the Jamaican society, you know, as it relates to the both political parties. And you with me, Colin?
Yeah, man, I'm listening to you.
Yes, and I talked about the second thing that I will mention. I spoke about it on the program, but before I go there, I heard your last caller there talked about, you know, people step away from people because of whatever. But I am just going to put this out there. And anybody who support the Prime Minister, follow the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister himself can basically address this one. It had been spoken for some time now that during the tenure of Bishop Errol Blair, when he served as ombudsman, political ombudsman, the Prime Minister refused to shake Harold Blair's hand. And it is out there. So what happened, a lot of people are saying now, it is poetic justice. The young lady dished out a bit of what the Prime Minister did to the elder gentleman, Reverend Harold Blair or Bishop Blair. I would like to hear persons who support the Prime Minister come and deny that. Or to basically, hear more persons talk on it in terms of the affirmative of it, because that is my solid information that the Prime Minister refused to shake the then political ombudsman hand, Bishop Harold Blair. I leave that one right there, Colin. Are you affair with that story?
I am remembering that I heard that story before. It's not new.
Good. So the lady acted within her conscience as she feel that, listen, the Prime Minister was not deserving of her shaking his hand. And maybe the Prime Minister felt the same way, that he did not believe that Harold Blair was deserving of him shaking his hand. So, that's the observation that I wish to point it out.
Yes.
Now, Colin, to the other thing that I believe that is really just continue to hurt me, irks me in the wrong way, this whole business of the indigent houses that has been given out by the Prime Minister. And Colin, I am saying to Mark Golden, the man on the bridge who is poised to take Jamaica across, look at these things, take note of them. They're untidy, they're embarrassing, they don't look good. It can't be that the Prime Minister journey from Jamaica House, Colin, into Trelawney, gas vehicle or put petrol in vehicles that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to go all the way in Trelawney, wherever, to basically hand over one or two indigent houses. It is, first of all, I believe that it is something that tramples on the dignity of the person that house is being given to. We don't have to do these things in the public sphere. Do the house for the person, as the Bible said. Give secretly, and you will be rewarded openly. Why, at this time, Colin, the Prime Minister would be going with an entourage in 2025? We continue to see these things happen, and I'm saying we have one government at a time. So therefore, my criticism must go to Andrew Holness and his administration at this time as it relates to that. But I'm also serving notice and Mark G to say that, listen, this is something that me personally no want to see you go on with, and if you come on and go on with it, me I go lick out pan you same way.
PNP no give out one house, man. PNP open housing scheme. PNP no give out one house. PNP open housing scheme. Is housing scheme PNP open.
There you go. There you go. So I don't know, Colin, but how many people observing these things, and it really rubbed them the right way. But trust me, for me, there are some things that I have to basically just cut across the divide. It has nothing to do with PNP, JLP. This is unbecoming, and to me, it is getting more and more and more disgraceful as I continue to examine it. The third thing that I want to look at, Colin, just before I go, the Prime Minister made some things that he said there were pledges, there were commitment, not just mere promise. One of them is the job description for parliamentarian. And he said he would put that in place. Within the first 100 days, he would have started that. Suffice it to say, it's 9 years and counting, going 10 years now, since he's in government. And he has done nothing. And with this little fly-by-night thing come up, Colin, with not even one of the recommendation that have been submitted by any of the bodies that the group that submit proposal have been adopted. And I dare say that I don't think what we have seen even worth the paper that it is written on, Colin. Thanks a lot for accommodating me.
Anthony Hilton said it best. It was just about ticking some boxes. Nothing with substance, my brother. We'll talk. Tuesday, we're going to deal with that. Enough respect. Viewers and listeners, let me say thanks to you for tuning in this morning. Thanks to noted attorney Bert Samuels, who spent some time with us. Thanks to Ed Boy, Conrad O'Brien, and all the people who called in, all the people in the chat room. You know, I'm going to leave you with something this morning from Nationwide. I heard Dwayne Smith over there with Cliff Hughes, because Dwayne Smith has been sued for some money. But let me just say this. It is the Prime Minister's responsibility to the people of Jamaica. If he's accused for illicit enrichment, if he's under investigation for illicit enrichment, he has a responsibility to the people of Jamaica to come and clear his name. We are very close to a general election. And I am saying to the Prime Minister, without your name being cleared, a statue of Parliament responsible for the job to say to us that your Prime Minister, your members of Parliament are clean. That creature of the Parliament is saying to the people of Jamaica, we cannot give this Prime Minister a clean bill of health. Some people are accusing the Integrity Commission. I am saying the onus is on the Prime Minister as the chief servant of the country to prove his innocence. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace, now and forevermore. I'll leave you with this piece here, Cliff Hughes and Dwayne Smith.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith?
Yes. So
that is not true. You're not contesting that you owe Mr. Zan anything? Well, let me ask you, Mr. Smith. Let me ask you this. Is it true that Mr. Azan lent you approximately $103,000 for a business venture and that you have not paid him back for over approximately 10 years? Is that true?
Today. It is not true. But again,
you did not. Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, I'm asking. You notice I've been listening very intently.
Answered the question.
And I'm no. I'm asking you. Did Mr. Azan lend you over $103,000 for pursuing a business venture that you have not repaid him? I'm asking
we are
you.
Beyond that, no.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Mr. Smith. Were you and Mr. Azan in a business venture? I am asking you now. You have come here to clear your name.
Indeed.
Right. So I'm asking you now. At no time over the last how many years has you been the recipient of funds from who you called your friend at one time? Have you ever given Mr. Azan checks that were not dated and which later bounced?
All these questions that you're asking me now were asked of me at the highest level in the party when I was being vetted to become a member of Parliament.
Oh? At the highest level of the party? Meaning the Prime Minister, the General Secretary, the Selection Committee? What? Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith? Mr. Smith? You were asked these questions at the highest levels of the party. Are you there? He's gone? Can you try getting him back for me, please? Oh? I was hearing him very well. Oh, he hung up the phone. Oh? What the hell is this? 21 minutes after 11. We're still making efforts to reconnect with Mr. Smith. Because I don't know what happened. If the call dropped or he hung up, I don't know. But it was at a pivotal point in the interview that we lost him. We are still making efforts to reconnect with him. Is he back? Oh, good. 22 minutes after he's back. Mr. Smith.
My battery died.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Back online.
Good. Well, so my question to you was, you spoke of the questions I was asking you. Sounded very much like questions you have been asked at the very highest levels of the party. And I zeroed in on that and asked if those levels mean the Prime Minister, the party leader, the General Secretary, members of the Selection Committee of the Labour Party.
So Hughes, you're politically experienced, know that I can't share Labour Party business publicly. But
and these questions were asked of you.
All these questions are asked of me.
Since you came on this morning and the interview started, my phone is also burning up with questions, that seek to suggest that you're not being truthful. Questions that suggest that you have issued several checks that have bounced to Mr. Azan. For example, put up on the screen for me these checks, that were issued. One to Sean Azan, $500,000.
What's the date on this check?
The date? Let me just get the date here. 14th. Is this the 14th of the 1st, 2020? 14th of the 11th, 2024. November last year. $500,000. But the check then says, hold on. It says payment countermanded by
what does that mean?
draw.
What does that mean?
You tell me.
A countermanded check is not a check that was bounced. A countermanded check is a check that means a stop payment was placed by me on that check.
Oh.
My behalf.
So what were you attempting to pay Mr. Azan last November when these checks were written? But why would you sign these checks and present them?
No. You need to ask him that. That's a question for Mr. Azan.
No, but your signature is on this.
No, Mr. Hughes. Seen a check and you've accused me of giving a bounce check.
Let me tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these checks, all written in the name of Sean Azan, signed by what seems to be your signature. You told me only moments ago you issued those checks and then directed that they be stopped. Are you denying that you wrote these checks, Mr. Smith?
I already did.
You did.
No.
You are denying that you didn't write these checks.
I already answered the question about what you have asked me.
No. Could you tell me, for clarity, did you write these checks?
For clarity, I did not. I will not speak on this matter again because
you did not write these checks in November, one day to the 14th of November last year. Then if you did not write, hold on, Mr. Smith. If you did not write them, how then did you issue a directive to your bank
That is a
to stop
question you have to
stop
ask
it.
Mr. Azan, and that's a question you have to ask Mr. Azan.
You did say earlier, Mr. Smith, that you were good friends with Mr. Sean Azan, didn't you?
I did say that. That's a fact.
Good.
We're good friends.
What caused the falling out?
That is not for public consumption.
Was it over money or financial issues?
No.
The falling out wasn't over business related?
No, it was not. But I've said it before, I've never been in any business with him. But again,
and he has never lent you any money?
Again, I cannot speak to what a pending case that may come in the future.
Not a pending case. But he has never lent you money. You don't owe nothing.
I answered the question on the first call before I got disconnected. I answered the question already. No. Thank you for your time. You have any more questions for me, Mr. Hughes?
No. That's it. And thank you for rejoining us.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. And all the best. Time for the break.